shorts and black and white Nikes. She is described as 5'9", 150 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Police are asked for any information on the two and their whereabouts. Keeping a watch on the gas prices in California, the average today for a gallon of regular in the state is $5.48. The least expensive in the Bakersfield area is for $4.69 at a station on Taft Highway. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and 1180 KERN. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I need it. Call in or text 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERN.com. Now, you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio. Here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening, however you may be viewing for those subscribing on YouTube. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Monday, 16th day of March, 1 week from the 4th Annual Honor Flight Open. As I warned, it's too late. I tried to tell you. But we are sold out. We have as many teams as the wonderful Bakersfield Country Club will allow. And we are excited. Our trick shot artist is back with us again. And we've got some other different things going on different holes and a trip to Pebble Beach being auctioned. Can we win the Pebble Beach thing?
Unfortunately not.
No way? Not even just a remote?
The worst time. The PD is right over my shoulder.
Emerson Bailey?
You could have got away with it.
Emerson Jr.? There you go. Turnip seed wins. Pebble with turnip seed.
Swain.
Huh?
Swain.
Mark Swain. Is he playing? I don't know if Mark's playing this year. I don't know if he's playing. Hell, I'd go with Galindo, the general manager at ABC 23, who outbid you all to play with Mr. Turnipseed and I. They are donating basically one veteran, $1,500 back to Honor Flight. And I did hear that, in fact, I lied to you or gave you misinformation. The next Honor Flight is in April. They do have an April trip. I had somebody erroneously inform me that there was no April trip, that there would be 2 October trips. We're very excited about this thing next Monday. So obviously we will be dark. You'll hear the best of the Ralph Bailey Show and the J.R. Flores Show, as we'll just be finishing up. We're not teeing off to about 11 a.m. We should be done around 3:30, 4 o'clock. And a great time will be had by all. And we'll raise anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 for Honor Flight. Very, very excited. In the meantime, we got a busy show this afternoon. Coming up in just a matter of minutes, Dr. Jeet Singh. I don't know if you guys heard the news, but Susie Wiles, the daughter of Hall of Fame broadcaster Pat Summerall, former NFL field goal kicker, his daughter, who was the chief of staff for the president, has breast cancer. So I thought we'd talk about that in terms of early detection and breast cancer that returns. I have so many friends, so many female friends who have suffered through breast cancer and survived only to have it return. So we'll talk about that at the bottom of the hour with Dr. Jeet Singh. Obviously get updated on Kathy's opinion on the Iranian situation and some other political stuff, including the local dust up between the DA's office and the Open Door Network. DHS has still not been funded, and my boy Chet had to fly out with his lovely wife. His wife is 54 years old. She's still a flight attendant, and they had to fly to, of all places, Minnesota. And he said that they waited in a TSL line for an hour and 15 minutes. And had they not gotten to the airport 3.5 hours in advance, because his wife this is her profession, they would have missed their flight. So if you're flying out this week, because I don't think there's any chance of, and remember what this is all about for the Democrats. This is all about ICE, which is funded until 2029. It's been in all the papers. But the Democrats are still not willing to fund DHS because of what's been going on, despite the fact there's a new DH secretary. And we'll talk about that because Mark Wayne Mullins' confirmation hearing begins on Wednesday. So we will discuss that a little bit. And Rick Bentley will come in here all full of himself and in me in debt to him. Did you think of me as soon as you saw Amy Madigan's name called?
I wasn't here on Friday, so I was
he told everybody about it, didn't he?
Oh, he came on my show this morning to talk about the Oscars and told me, and I said, "Oh, I didn't realize you made a bet."
Oh yeah. Can I transfer my meals from Teresa Goldner to Rick Bentley?
Teresa has to pay.
Oh, she's down 2. She's down 2 lunches. So I'm saying, can I transfer and just we all one big happy family? No. She would like, I'm sure she would. Maybe we could all pay off each other. She pays my bill, I pay Bentley's bill, and we're all one happy family. One TRBS family. All right, we'll think about it. And Cuba could seriously be falling. I thought the president was just talking smack, but right now the island is dark. Did you guys hear about this? They are under a nationwide power outage because they have no fuel. They have no fuel. We cut them off like 2 weeks ago, and that's when Trump started talking about taking over Cuba. We are in negotiations with Cuba. I'll tell you what, he may go down as bad as Carter domestically, but foreign policy-wise, if he pulls off epic fury and some of the other things that we've done, replacing the leader in Venezuela and now maybe crumbling communism for the first time since 1959 in Cuba? Are you kidding? This is, I have not, you have noticed, I have not mentioned the word Cuba, despite the president's assertions, bold assertions. But the reality that they don't have fuel, the economy is in the tank, and that they're reaching out because they basically have to is pretty significant. We'll talk about that at some point. And a dramatic day at the Players yesterday. I didn't get to play because my gout kind of seeped in my ankle over the weekend. I could not believe that. I was off my allopurinol for 2 days. Somehow it got moist and like congealed and got all soft. So I went and got some more, but I didn't pick it up till today. So I was off allopurinol all weekend. And my ankles swelled up. And so I didn't play this weekend at all. But I'm playing Friday, Saturday, and then Monday. So we'll talk about that as Cameron Young makes a gargantuan birdie on the island hole, 71st hole of the tournament, to come back and beat Ludwig Oberg and Matt Fitzpatrick. And Kansas City gets Justin Fields. Did you talk about that this morning?
I did. It broke kind of towards the end of the show, but
That's a nothing burger, right? Who cares? Who cares? And they're saying Mahomes may not be ready for game 1. But he's no better than anything they've had in their quarterback room. I don't see him coming in and being able to sustain anything. Although it is nice to be able to give it to Kenny Walker III, but we'll talk about that. And I got one other thing I got on here. I knew I wanted to mention. I can't remember it. Oh, the Dodgers have renamed the field. Have you guys seen this? We've entered into some agreement with a Japanese organization, and while we're doing the nuance thing, we're doing what Jerry Buss really first started. Jerry Buss wanted to change the name of the forum, but nobody was willing to do it. So he just kind of did the Trump and just put another company's name in front of the forum, and that was the Great Western Forum. And Kansas City's done the same thing. Kansas City used to be part of a great trivia question. one of the only two stadiums in the NFL that have not changed their names, and it's Arrowhead and Soldier Field. But Kansas City has done what we're doing, where it's Burdick Field at Arrowhead Stadium. Well, we're about to do the same thing. We'll talk about that in the 5 at Dodger Stadium.
Your trivia question about the NFL teams. Lambeau not be one of those?
Yes.
So there's 3, right?
There's 3. No, there was 2 because we didn't count Kansas City because they're doing this nuance thing.
But
Yeah.
Now, there's rumor now that Lambeau might be changing their name too.
And Chicago might be leaving Chicago.
I heard McAfee talking about it this morning. I was like, there's no way they change it from Lambeau Field.
No way. No way in the world. No way in the world. Unless you're going to change it to Lombardi Field, which I think should have been all this time. All right, let's get going. We're just getting started on a Monday. Donald Trump is rebuffed by some of the Western nations. He's calling for help in the Strait of Hormuz. I'll give you my thoughts in just a second. Then we'll talk breast cancer, ladies. I would hang on if I you. We'll talk about it with a cardiologist, but nevertheless, one of the finest physicians in Kern County, Dr. Jeet Singh, Kathy Abernathy at 4 o'clock, and Rick Bentley. If we can squeeze his head through the door. He had 20 of the 24 Academy Award picks correct, and we had a small wager. I had the black girl in, what's the name of the damn film? One Day After the Jaws occurred at the Titanic. What's it called? Yeah, something like that. Well, the black girl in there was supposed to win, and I predicted that, and he predicted Amy Madigan, and the old broad won. I forgot that she was married to Ed Harris, John Glenn. Quick timeout, just getting going on a Monday, right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com. Huh?
You see?
Yeah.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Nobody's talking about that self-worth and purpose. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody says that. There's more to you than what you're doing. Let's help you get there.
Let's help you get there. Let's just all agree that there's many different roads, but different people dealing with homelessness and living on the streets to get them.
Right, I agree with you.
And as long as we can start there, then I think we can start to make a bigger dent.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Early meteorological signs indicate it could be, as the movie title goes, a long, hot summer. And what better way to beat the heat than to grab the wife, the boo, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the fiance, and head to F Street and have dinner at KC Steakhouse. You guys voted KC Steakhouse best steakhouse in Kern County, and rightfully so. You also gave them best ambiance. So where would you rather be? And don't forget about the Stockyard right next door. It's been an absolute game changer for Cassie Biddle. Order one of the craft cocktails. You can have dinner in there. And she's got an unbelievable, beautiful banquet room where people are celebrating birthdays now. I saw recently they have luncheon meetings. They have election night meetings, et cetera, et cetera. And they have live music Thursday, Fridays, and Saturday nights. And of course, Jimmy and Bobby are providing live music in the main restaurant Tuesday through Saturday. Where would you rather be than on F Street in the capable hands of Cassie Biddle's incredible staff at KC Steakhouse, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
And we're back. Rob and Bob here once again for California Fruit Depot. Rob seems to be laughing. This is a commercial. We only have 60 seconds.
Okay.
We need to sell citrus
And nuts.
dates, nuts, dried fruits. We need to tell people where we are as if they can't do it by Google. And if you don't know where we are by now,
You're not listening enough.
you're really not listening. Pay
Get in your
attention.
car, drive around, and
Here's
listen.
something that you're going to pay attention to. I would like to, and I hate to get political,
Okay.
I would like to merge Kern County with San Luis Obispo County.
That's a great idea.
We can do a lot with it.
What took you so long?
They can use our resources. We can use their resources.
Oceanfront property for us.
Listen, oil, ag, and beach. Moving on. We need a tag phrase at California Fruit Depot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The one we've been using is, it's just like Disney, but with only...
Hey,
Yeah.
the Al Green thing you sent me, is that the third comedy bit?
No, that's just something I want to play. That's
All right.
the news story about when Al Green had grits poured on him.
Right, and that's why I was confused.
Yeah, I
I was
just want
like,
to play that at some point.
the only two I have is Archie and Fred Sanford.
Yeah.
All right.
Garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Colored guy gets in trouble, he runs right away to the NCAAPP. Italian guy gets in trouble, he runs over to see the Pope if he can scratch up the airfare. If not, he hops a bus to Jersey to see Sinatra. And you do anything to a Jew, whoa, boy, hey, the whole Israel Air Force swoops down on you and kick it the crapola out of you.
842-5376, 842-KERN. Stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going round. Always reminds me of the war. Vietnam. I tell you guys, I watched Apocalypse Now for the first time, and I can't remember when, from beginning to end. I mean, from beginning to end. Stayed up late too. It was the night that they had. It was the Robert Duvall night on Turner Classic Movie the other night when they had Tender Mercies on and Apocalypse Now, which really isn't his film, but he plays a big role as the colonel. And there was one other movie they played that night, but I can't remember. In the meantime, the president, as I said at the top of the show, has been rebuffed by some of the Western countries when he has asked for their help. Here is the president talking about how these folks kind of owe us.
We have some countries where we have 45,000 soldiers, great soldiers, protecting them from harm's way. And we have done a great job. And when we want to know, do you have any minesweepers? Well, would rather not get involved, sir. I said, you mean for 40 years we're protecting you and you don't want to get involved in something that is very minor? Very few shots going to be taken because they don't have many shots left. But they said, we'd rather not get involved. I just want the fake news media and everybody else to remember that that was said because I've been a big critic of all of the protecting of countries because I know that we'll protect them. And if we ever needed help, they won't be there for us. I've just known that for a long period of time.
He's got a point, but diplomatically, this is an error. But he's got a point. Like I said on Friday when I went into a rant, he had to up the stakes, and Spain still has not complied, but he had to personally, unlike any other president, up the stakes to get the Western European nations, which really NATO is all about, their protection post-World War II. He had to twist their arms just to get them to pump in 5%, just to get them up to 5%. And Spain said, screw y'all. We're not gonna give you 5% of our GDP just to, keep our lifeline working and alive and pumping. That's why we don't have any trade deals with Spain. That's why he's cut us off from Spain. And I don't blame him, other than the fact that I kind of like to go to Madrid or Barcelona, but that's beside the point. Here's what some of the leaders have said in regards to helping us out in the Strait. Germany said, this war has nothing to do with NATO. It's not NATO's war. Keir Starker, who you'll hear in a second, because he kind of is flip-flop, said, we will not be drawn into this wider war. The Italian said, Italy is not part of the conflict. The Australian said, we will not be sending a ship to the Strait of Hormuz. And Japan was more moderate. They said, we are proceeding with consideration. At least they realize who butters their bread. The Japanese do. And so they've been a little hesitant to go that far. But here's Keir Starker, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, kind of walking back what he said on paper.
Now, we've already acted alongside other countries to release emergency oil stocks at a level that is completely unprecedented. But ultimately, we have to reopen the Strait of Hormuz to ensure stability in the market. That is not a simple task.
You damn right you do, and you damn right it's not. Why can't they see that their old futures? This is 20% of the global market we're talking about. And again, as I keep saying, the president has to play this straight. This isn't a campaign. This isn't the midterms. This is war. And he's got to stop lying. Unless you want me to say that he's just factually wrong and he's going down that Joe Biden path, because China does not get 90% of its oil from the Strait of Hormuz. They just don't. It's just not a fact. From what I understand from pundits who know what they're talking about, they get about 55%. They get a large portion, obviously the majority of their oil, but not 90%. And to ask China for help in this situation seems almost like an oxymoron. Is there anybody that doesn't think that China is not in the back pocket of Iran or vice versa? That China and Russia are praying that this conflict goes on for years? And China, what does China want to open up the Strait of Hormuz for? Their ships are getting through. The Iranians aren't targeting Chinese cargo ships. And reaching out to China right now just seems like when you're at home saying we've won, but yet you're reaching out to China to help us with the Strait of Hormuz. And shouldn't this all been figured out, I don't know, before we started dropping bombs? Again, let me be redundant about my position on this so it's completely crystal clear. I'm in favor of what we're doing. The idea of ending this black cloud that's been hanging over us since I was a junior in high school is a great effort that 70 of 74 retired generals all agree with. But how it's being run by Fox and Friends co-host Pete Hegseth, and how the president is playing it like it's just another campaign speech, and he can lie and say this and that and that and this, and not take questions about the new 6 soldiers who were killed in a refueling accident. Did you see that video? He was taking questions along the airline line. He was coming back off Marine One, and he's taking random questions. And one person asked him about the 6 soldiers who died in this refueling airplane accident. And he just went to the next question. Son, we're at war. And everyone that dies is on your watch. In other words, on your hands. And wearing a ball cap is one thing. We can get past that. But playing flippant with people's children who gave their lives for your war, because this is your war, sir. You own this 1,000%. You began this by refuting your Secretary of State, who originally told us we're getting involved because Israel was going to hit Iran, and Iran would naturally hit us and Israel. But no, you said, I felt that Iran was going to hit us. I played a hunch. So this is Trump's war, for good or for bad. And I'm not declaring either, because I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I think he could salvage this thing. We could destroy their both ballistic missile capability, thus protecting their nuclear infrastructure. I think we really could. But as we keep saying, time is not on their hands. And reaching out to adversaries to help us with this effort seems incredibly weak. Particularly when you just said days ago, we've won. Quick time out. We're going to talk breast cancer with Dr. Jeet Singh. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Extreme weather conditions from coast to coast put more than half the U.S. in the path of rough conditions. Storms across the nation's eastern half forced airlines to cancel roughly 4,000 flights nationwide Monday. Many schools closed early in the mid-Atlantic states where high winds were in the forecast. Blizzards buried parts of Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, while torrential rains flooded homes and washed out roads in Hawaii. Officials in Cuba report an island-wide blackout in the country of some 11 million people as its energy and economic crises deepen. The Ministry of Energy and Mines noted a complete disconnection of the country's electrical system and says it is investigating. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 387 points. The Nasdaq rose 268. This is SRN News.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. Gas has continued to go up, and today the average price for regular in California is $5.48 per gallon. The least expensive in Bakersfield is at a station on Taft Highway, selling it for $4.69. If you've been following the story of the March 2024 kidnapping of an 11-year-old girl from her home in Bakersfield in the early morning hours, the man accused of that, Joshua Staley of Colorado, who was supposed to go on trial this month, will instead be in court June 15th. Police say he was communicating with the girl online before taking her. An event was held this week to help people selling food get the proper paperwork. That was by Corazon Latina and was at Bell Terrace Park, part of Small Business Day. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here for King Door Company. I had my garage door installed over 20 years ago and it still works like the day it was installed. So I know all about King Door's quality products. But let's talk service. At King Door Company, it's an obsession. Whether you're having your garage door installed, serviced, or repaired, you can count on King Door Company to do it right. And it all starts with training. All King Door techs have been through the King Door Academy, an on-site training center where technicians study the very latest in garage door technology so that when they show up at your house, they have all the experience and product knowledge they need to take care of your garage door. They really are the state of the art. And when you pair that expertise with King Door's legendary customer service, you get a service experience that can't be beat. So whether you need a new garage door or just service on an existing door, regardless of who built or installed it, count on the pros at King Door to do the job right. Just call 397-2744 or check them out online at kingdoor.com. King Door Company, the company with the pride of a lion.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Are you serious right now? You certainly don't go by First Lady. You choose First Partner. And you're going to talk to us about protecting women? You want to talk about protecting women? Let's start with our girls right here in the state of California and protecting them in sports. You want us to ask questions about women and protecting women? How about that question?
Weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's Monday. Time to head over to Centric Health and talk with one of the finest physicians in the land, Dr. Jeet Singh. How are you, Dr. J?
I'm good. How are you, Ralph?
Outstanding. Loving the weather. Loving the weather. Do you ever get out and play golf with the boys? With your son?
You know, I played yesterday. The weather was wonderful.
Did you really?
I did.
Good for you. Good. Glad to hear that. Get out and get some exercise. I don't know why I do this. I mean, I guess there's only so many topics within cardiology we can get into. So I'm oftentimes putting you in a position to speak outside of your realm. But nevertheless, you're such a fine physician, we can do that. And we learned that Susie Wiles, the daughter of Pat Summerall, a Hall of Fame broadcaster and former NFL star, and now the chief of staff for the president, has breast cancer. So I thought we would talk about that. They're saying that they detected it early. How do most women detect breast cancer? Is it through self-examination or is it through mammograms? And I'll follow up in just a sec because I've got some other questions. But
that's a very interesting question because most of the women, they detect by self-examination. If there is a lump or thickening in the breast or under the arm where the lymph nodes are, or there is a change in the breast size or shape. Sometimes you have skin dimpling, like an orange peel, or there is an abnormal discharge from the nipple.
Really?
Sometimes patients complain of course, like persistent breast pain, or there is swelling in the part of the breast. So multiple ways it presents, but your risk actually increases by two important factors. One is the age, which is typically like 50 years and above. And the second important is if you have a family history of BRCA gene, BRCA, and that's very important because if you have a family history of BRCA gene, then your pre-likelihood of inheriting the breast cancer is increased by a significant amount.
Yeah. At what age are women suggested to start self-examining?
Self-examination starts at a very early age, but the mammogram, which is performed to detect, is usually around age of 40 to 50.
Yeah. That's
the age when they start. I mean, it's 40 and above that clinical breast exams are important.
Yeah. I had a young friend of mine who was in the radio business. She was my producer for a while when I was at Buckley Radio, and then they made her part of the morning show on a kind of much lighter station. It's kind of a soccer mom station. And as part of a bit, she could not get, because she's only 32 years old, she couldn't get it cleared through her insurance to get a mammogram. So she did it as part of a bit for her morning show to show women how it is a little uncomfortable, but it's necessary. And she did it as part of a bit. And the doctor just did it as part of the bit. They didn't do it as kind of an examination because she couldn't get it. She was 32 years old. And come to find out, she had cancer. And it absolutely saved her life. Or at least, who knows? Is that common? And what do young women who can't get mammograms do?
The thing is, first of all, that the self-breast exam, it starts at the age as early as 20. So that's very important part of physical examination that can be performed by yourself. But the mammogram screening is usually at the age of 40 and earlier only if you have a high risk, like I talked about the BRCA gene.
Right.
So it depends upon the constitution of the breast. And if it is in the initial years, it's more of fatty tissue. And as you grow older, it becomes more of fibrous tissue.
Yeah.
So the kind of examination by mammogram or ultrasound to detect and their sensitivity depends upon the age of the patient and the consistency of the tissue that is there.
Yeah. Talking with Dr. Jeet Singh from Centric Health. Obviously, any malady, whether it's cancer or foot disease for that matter, no matter what it is, the earlier you get it, the better chance you have of stopping it, preventing it from spreading, et cetera, et cetera. But is that the case really with breast cancer? Because I've seen so many different women and so many different cases where it's caught early and yet it goes away and then it comes back, or, this one had stage 3 or stage 4 and yet she survived. It seems to me it's just kind of a crapshoot. Am I wrong about that?
I mean, as I said, unless you are high risk, they don't indicate it to be done because there are downs and plus of every investigation. For example, if you are younger, then obviously ultrasound is more preferred because of the consistency of being more cystic lumps.
Right.
But if you are age 40 and above, then mammograms, which involve the radiation, even though very low dose, is the preferred diagnostic modality. So it depends upon this, but yeah, insurance companies are very particular when they will approve the diagnostic study and when they won't.
Yeah.
So right documentation is very important from the patient, from the doctor's perspective.
Right. Why is breast cancer so deadly? Does it spread quickly? What causes it to be so lethal?
You know,
Or is
it's
that a
all
dumb
about
question?
it's all about, if you detect it early, it's very treatable. Okay. But that's what the importance. But if it spreads to other organs, what we call as metastasis, then it has already traveled through bloodstream and the lymphatic system. So it can go to the bones, liver, lungs, brain. So that's like any other cancer.
Yeah.
So it depends upon what stage you catch it, because I have had patients who are breast cancer remission for last 10 years.
Yeah. I have a friend, who's gone through it. And it's traumatic for women because their hair is such a big part of who they are physically, and they lose their hair, and it's just a really hard thing for them. It really is. But all right, sir. Always good to talk to you. Anything you want to talk about before I let you go?
No, I think I feel very enriched after talking to you.
As I always feel after discussing anything with you, sir. Appreciate
Thank you.
Appreciate you taking the time.
You're always welcome, Ram.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure talking to you.
All right, take care. Dr. J, Dr. Jeet Singh, finest cardiologist in the land and overall good egg, along with his wife, Jasleen, my endocrinologist, Jasleen Dougal. It's all in the family. And their, I guess he'd be 15 by now, maybe 16-year-old son. He'll be a doctor in about 8 months. You think I'm kidding? This kid will be a doctor by the time he's 22 years old. It's crazy. Quick time out. Come back, and Kathy Abernathy is going to join us at the top of the hour. And then Rick Bentley in 5. First thing out of his pile is going to be what he's going to be ordering when we go to dinner, since I owe him. We'll see if we can do some finagling, get Teresa Goldner involved, who owes me 2 lunches, and then we can maybe she buy my dinner, and then I buy Rick's dinner, and we're all one big happy family. Here at the Ralph Bailey Show on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. We stream live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 90.
Big Mike.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
$500,000 for a building that is burned down 23 times in the last year, and it only makes me ask, why the hell haven't we just let this thing burn down to the ground already? And then the internet is great as it is. The comment says, I hope the person that reports this fire didn't call 911.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I posted a picture of me and owner-operator of Big Mike's Ragin' Barbecue, Mike Arier, on Facebook. He celebrated birthday last week, and he just wanted to say thank you to all the comments and likes that he got on the very old picture of the two of us. And he also urges you to call him at 393-5507 if you've got any type of event that needs catering. Over the last 20 years, Mike has used his NFL experience, that dedication, that drive, that diligence to be one of the finest caterers in Kern County. Call him today at 393-5507. Doesn't matter what kind of luncheon or dinner it is. Mike comes with his rig, his crew, and one of the best ingredients for mashed potatoes. That's my absolute favorite. or he has those little baby potatoes that I love as well. And the quality of meat is A1. He does the cooking, they do the serving, they do the cleaning. All you got to do is call him at 393-5507. That's 393-5507. Big Mike's Raging Barbecue. And yes, they're still raging hot.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from consumeraffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, "After hearing Mike Rowe's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk, and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today!" Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words "switch today" in capital letters with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
Trucordia, a new name, but a trusted partner for Kern County businesses. At Trucordia, we provide business solutions that include comprehensive commercial insurance and proactive risk strategies to help protect your company and keep operations running smoothly. We also offer benefit solutions with flexible options for both businesses and individuals, supported by easy online tools and hands-on local service that makes everything simpler. For guidance you can count on, call Don Coons at 661-401-2280. Trucordia, building trust.
Are you looking for a hospital that truly cares for your health and well-being? At Good Samaritan Hospital, they provide high-quality medical detox, psychiatric services, and medical and surgical care. They accept most insurances, including Medi-Cal, Medicare, and Kern Family. They offer Kern County's longest-standing inpatient detox program with dual diagnosis that combines medical care and withdrawal management all under one roof. Learn more at GoodSamaritanHospital.com or call 661-215-7500. Good Samaritan Hospital. They care for their community.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show. A new
for years, and they were playing just to pay back their debt to the mob. It's a really interesting story. Frankie Valli's still alive, and unfortunately, they're doing the Jill, what I call the Jill Biden, the Jill Jill Biden, where they're just kind of pushing Frankie Valli out, and he's now lip syncing his classics. And he was old when he was coming on The Sopranos. He played Rusty on The Sopranos. In fact, he got whacked in the driveway of his house in The Sopranos. But he was old then. And that was what, 20, 25 years ago? And now at like 80 something? Hey, Siri, how old is Frankie Valli?
Frankie Valli is
He's 91. And they're still shoving him out on stage to lip sync his music. That's the Jill Biden. That's people that don't give a damn about you, but they're still cashing your checks. That's just crazy. In the meantime, I got one more piece of audio from the president kind of contradicting himself. And the other question that I had to pose is, does all of what we're doing make us weaker internationally, globally? Like if I were Xi, I think now would be the perfect time to try to invade Taiwan. How in the world would we defend Taiwan right now? With the USS Gerald Ford, our largest aircraft carrier, and damn near half the fleet in the Middle East. The other portions of the Navy are down there by Cuba. How in the world would we break a Chinese blockade of the island of Taiwan right now? Just asking. Just asking. Meantime, here is the president kind of contradicting the earlier audio we played and some of the earlier statements that he's made this morning in terms of demanding help from the Western European nations and even from China.
We don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We don't need them. But it's interesting. I'm almost doing it in some cases, not because we need them, but because I want to find out how they react. Because I've been saying for years that if we ever did need them, they won't be there. Not all of them, but they won't be there.
You see what I'm saying about Trump can't be Trump right now? You can't say things like, China, come help us get the Strait of Hormuz straight. Great Britain, Germany, Italy, help us. And then when they give you a lukewarm response, you can't come back and then say, we didn't need them anyway. And you know what I was doing? Here's what I was doing. Because I just thought of this. This is what I was doing. I was really just testing them. I mean, this sounds like a conversation in a high school bathroom between a boyfriend and a girlfriend. Oh, I don't really want to break up. I was just testing you. You can't play war like a campaign or a conversation in a high school bathroom. Just kidding. We don't really need you. Come on, man. You got to play this straight. This is war. Every single syllable that comes out of your pie hole has got to be meaningful and significant and, honest. Straight. We don't need them anyway. Screw them. The hell we don't. And if we do, why wouldn't you do it diplomatically? Why would you come out and stand on top of Mount Whitney and say, we need help? What happened to we won? Again, I applaud what he's trying to do. How he's going about it is fodder for the Democratic Party. Because remember, they're rooting against epic fury. Make no bones about it. This isn't about them standing up for the legality of the war and the War Powers Act, et cetera, et cetera. No, this is, we finally got him. We finally got him. Where even parts of his base that he promised that America would be first and that we wouldn't get into such conflicts. He's losing Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan. We've got him. So don't tell me they're not rooting absolutely against. Therefore, ergo, absolutely rooting for the Iranians. Absolutely rooting for the Iranians. And why the administration doesn't make that argument and make that clear, I thought it was a brilliant move during the State of the Union to ask them and put them, Democrats, on the spot. Do American citizens come before illegal aliens? Stand up if you agree that they do. And they sat down. 53 Democrats could not even vote positively. Have we done the 45? Okay. 53 Democrats couldn't even vote affirmative that Iran is the biggest exporter of terrorism. So let's flip the script. Let's put them on the line. Let's get them on the record. Because if he screws around and decimates Iran and reconfigures the Middle East and makes it, I don't know, it's a stretch to say the word safe, but if he makes it safer, and for how many years ends a nuclear threat from the Iranians, the Democrats are screwed. The midterms would be turned around. We'd be assured a president from the Republican Party in 2029. But if this thing goes sour and it lingers into the fall, gas prices jump to, 130, 140, 150 bucks a barrel. The Russians are dancing through the streets drinking vodka. The Chinese are still getting their oil because the Iranians aren't going to send drones after their cargo ships. And yet he's still out there hat in hand asking for China's help. Really? Like China wants to help us with Iran. Really? Okay. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Who you got?
Chris is on the line.
Chris, you're on the Ralph Bailey Show.
Hey, Ralph Bailey, how are you?
I'm good. What's up?
Hey, there's two things that our country has always kicked the can down the road on. One has been the national debt, which we're still working at. And the other one's been a nuclear-armed Iran. And somebody had to finally do it, because if Iran actually did get a bomb, given their philosophy of how they do things, I don't think they would hesitate to use it. And a nuclear bomb going off in the Middle East would have implications worldwide for potentially decades. So, and I've got skin in the game. I've got an active military child. So, I think we're doing the right thing. I think it needs to get done now. And I actually think this is over in 3 to 5 weeks. I think we're done. I think we're out of there.
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. And I think there is a possibility. I think a lot does depend on the Strait of Hormuz and whether we can absolutely destroy their Navy and get minesweepers in there and get ships flowing through there. And, that would change history forever. It really would.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
And as far as China can't do anything because their oil is not coming over right now either. So they're in an energy crisis, honestly, because they're not getting any from Venezuela now either. So China's really not in a position to invade Taiwan right now.
Well, their ships are getting through the strait. The Iranians aren't targeting their ships. There might be, you're right, there might be some slowdown, but
slow down.
Yeah, but they're not attacking Chinese ships, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think that China's getting enough energy to keep their country going. I don't think they've got enough to go ahead and start manning multiple vessels and aircraft and things. So.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Which could answer my Taiwan question. All right, Chris, thanks for the call, man.
All right. Larry.
Appreciate it. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Sometimes I just don't understand what the president is trying to accomplish. And I don't mean by Iran. I mean by the way he does things, the way he allows subordinates to do things. By the way, and maybe we'll talk about this later on. Remember I told you I had at least 3 or 4 videos of Kristi Noem lying. And I think I know at least 2 of them. I think I have 4. And I know at least 2 of them, she had to put her hand on a Bible. And so you know where we're going with this. The Democrats already pounced, and they are beginning perjury investigations into Kristi Noem. And they've got her cold as a mackerel. I mean, the lead witness in their perjury case, you guys know who their lead witness is going to be. Donald John Trump. When she was asked under oath by a Republican, Joe Kennedy of Louisiana, no connection to no, Massachusetts, Martha's Vineyard, Irish Bremen, no, Catholic, no. He might be Catholic. I doubt that. He's probably Baptist, but he's from Louisiana, and he's never, no. But it was under his questioning that she lied and said that this $220 million ad campaign that's got her looking hot as hell atop a horse with a cowboy hat in front of Mount Rushmore, which, by the way, if you were watching the Academy Awards last night, her budget is bigger than any movie that was nominated last night. Did you know that? That the budget for the Academy Award-winning motion picture this year is less than the $220 million Kristi Noem spent on advertising herself. So that alone, because in the questioning, John Kennedy asked her, no relation. Joe was the dad and is not related to the John Kennedy of Louisiana. Just ignore any reference to Joe Kennedy. Senator Kennedy asked her, the president knew about this $220 million? Oh, yeah. He knew all about it. In fact, I've got his signature in my purse. You can't lie when you put your hand on a Bible, Christy. They call that perjury. Go ask Bill Clinton all about it. He'll tell you about it. Quick time out. Heading into the 4 o'clock hour, Kathy Abernathy joins us next.
This is AM 1180 KERN, Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM, Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump is upping the pressure on China.
President Donald Trump says he may delay his anticipated trip to China as he pressures Beijing to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz to ease soaring oil prices. Trump told the Financial Times on Sunday that China benefits from the strait and should help keep it open. Aboard Air Force One, Trump told reporters,
"Why are we maintaining the Hormuz Strait when it's really there for China and so many other countries? Why aren't they doing it?"
Iran has nearly shut down the waterway. Trump says the U.S. has talked with about 7 nations seeking assistance to help keep it open. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Tax scams are on the rise as April 15th approaches. Here's what to know.
Robocalls, texts, and phishing emails from scammers are up this tax season, according to the FTC. Consumer advocates and government officials are urging the public to stay wary, stop and think before engaging with phone or text messages. Remember, the IRS will not contact you directly by text or phone. Officials say AI has likely contributed to an increase in fraud attempts. Scammers often use alarming language and QR codes to send people to fake websites where they ask you to verify accounts or enter personal information. Links may install malware or malicious software. I'm Julie Walker.
Fears of a global energy crisis persist as the war in the Middle East rages on. More U.S.-Israeli strikes hit the Iranian capital Monday, and Israel again bombarded Lebanon. An Iranian drone strike temporarily shut Dubai's airport. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 387 points. The Nasdaq rose 268. More at townhall.com.
Let me paint a picture for you. It's midnight and sirens are blaring, and you only have seconds to grab your child and run. Now, imagine you're elderly, getting downstairs, and after all of that, you end up in a bomb shelter for hours, even days, because you just can't make that trek up again. That's what's happening across Israel as Operation Epic Fury continues. Children are being traumatized, families are exhausted, homes have been destroyed. That's why the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews is there. Because as Israel continues to be under attack, its people on the ground are just trying to survive. The fellowship is bringing life-saving aid and emergency supplies to the most vulnerable. If you've ever wondered what it looks like to stand with Israel and stand for good against evil, this is it. This is the time. Join Christians around the world in praying for Israel and her people, and for the brave troops putting their lives on the line in this battle between good and evil. Stand in prayer by visiting supportifcj.org. That's supportifcj.org.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Accused of kidnapping an 11-year-old girl. I'm Chris Davis. Now the trial date for Joshua Michael Staley of Colorado has been moved to June 15th in Kern County Superior Court. That decision was made Friday. His trial had originally been set for this month. Staley is accused of communicating online with that 11-year-old girl from Bakersfield, driving here and taking the girl from her house back on March 17th, 2024 in the early morning hours. Once police determined Staley was the suspect, they tracked his phone to I-70 and Utah. Authorities pulled him over and rescued the girl. His charges include kidnapping, lewd or lascivious acts with a child under 14 and possession of child pornography. You've heard that Kern County has been cracking down on businesses that are selling food without the proper paperwork. An event that was held this weekend and put on by Corazon Latina was meant to help people actually get their paperwork so they can sell food legally in the county. That was Small Business Day at Bell Terrace Park.
Bill.
You've heard the reports about 16-year-old Sarah Current, who went missing last month. Now authorities are looking for someone who they believe was with her. 16-year-old Mackenzie Meadows was last seen near Airport and Olive Drives Thursday. Meadows was last seen just before 9:30 p.m. wearing a red hoodie, black shorts, and black and white Nikes. She is described as 5'9", 150 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Police are asking for any information on the two and their whereabouts. Keeping a watch on the gas prices in California. The average today for a gallon of regular in the state is $5.48. The least expensive in the Bakersfield area is for $4.69 at a station on Taft Highway. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180. KERN.
What do you think? This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get up close like this. Little bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you
My father likes
make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this beautiful Monday afternoon in Bakersfield. Hardly a cloud in the sky, which is a great omen for the 4th annual Honor Flight Open, starting at 11 a.m. next Monday, a week from today. We are sold out. We are happy to say, unfortunate for those of you who did the Bakersfield and waited to the last minute, despite my warnings. But we're really excited. We got a trick shot artist back on the par 5. And we've got some other games that you can play to help contribute. This is all to help raise money for Honor Flight. And the next Honor Flight taking off in April will be Honor Flight number 53, if you can believe that. 53 different flights, different trips for these veterans. And now we've moved down into the Persian Gulf veterans because there is a Persian Gulf memorial that's being constructed in D.C. And I believe it's going to be done by April. And I think that trip will be majority Persian Gulf veterans. So we're expanding, or Honor Flight is expanding. In the meantime, it's a Monday.
Get your motor running.
Head out on the highway. Kathy's looking for adventure. Professor Kathy Abernathy. How are you, Professor?
Well, I'm good. I'm just looking at this. I guess you've already talked about this Bush Cheney 04. Wow. Where'd you dig that out of?
What you talking about, Willis?
Right there, that mug.
Oh. I have no idea whose mug that is.
Oh, I thought it was yours.
No.
Farm Ranch Team. I've never even heard that during Bush 2000.
Bush Cheney 04.
Yeah.
Wow. That is old.
22
That's damn
years.
as old as you are.
21 years.
21 years old.
22 years. Yeah.
That
must be, well, I don't know. Maybe someone gave it as a gift.
I'm sure. I might have been using this. I think I drank my tea in this on Friday and left it in here. And of course, God forbid any of the prior hosts take it back to the kitchen. But
Well, but I've never seen that. That's pretty cool.
I know I might steal this.
Yeah, what's that, barbed wire? Is that supposed to be farming? I don't know why
I
there's
don't know.
barbed wire around it.
Farm Ranch Team, Bush Cheney 04. Huh. His stock is going up as a past president.
Bush?
Yeah. Although Iraq and Afghanistan will still always kind of
Yeah.
hang over his head.
They tried, I guess. They didn't go for broke, but it's tough to do, as we
Yeah.
know right now. You know what's also odd?
What's
This
that?
morning at 9 a.m., I was at home. My electricity went off. And for a moment, I thought, is this it?
This is
the
war?
way it happens? I've never had my electricity goes off. I mean,
Really?
I've never. Have you recently? Or
Yes.
Oh,
Mine
often?
goes off quite a bit.
But do you
I
pay
mean,
your bill
quite
every
a
month
bit.
or no? I don't know. Why would it go off?
I have no idea. It goes off, automobile accidents, take out a pole. That was one reason fairly recently. I don't know. And I was told that I was on the grid with San Joaquin Hospital. We could never go out. That's what I was told, because I've lived there for like 15 years. And that's what my neighbors that were first in there said. Oh, we're on the hospital's grid. We never go out. And that's just not true. That's just not true.
It's a great renter. It's mine.
Yeah.
The landlord.
Yeah, exactly. Great
Man,
selling point.
here.
We never had electricity problems. Do you hear who is having electricity problems though?
Who?
The island of Cuba.
Oh, so sorry.
And that they are ready to make a deal with us, says many of Cuban officials.
I can't even name who the head of Cuba is right now. Do we know?
I can't either. I'm assuming.
In
I
the old
always thought
days,
it
he
was
was
a
famous.
it was
but
a
now
Castro brother.
I think they're all gone.
Raul died as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah. No, he'd be making noise. We haven't heard about him. I feel ignorant here. I should know that.
I do know hey Siri, who's the leader of Cuba?
Okay, I found this on the web.
Miguel Diaz-Canel? Never heard of him. Well, apparently they're ready to make a deal because they are literally in the dark as we
He was
speak.
probably head of the Chamber of Commerce or something.
Yeah. But they're in the dark, and their economy's in the tank. The oil situation is impacting them.
Well, I hope they, like Germans should, and France understand what happens when your economy starts going totally socialist and 4-day work week, if that.
CNN had a reporter saying that gas was a couple of bucks a gallon. He said to fill up, he spent $300.
You said a couple of bucks. You
It
mean
was-
like
It was a couple of weeks ago. It was a couple of bucks,
okay? That's
and now it's $300 to fill his tank.
whoa.
And he said the only reason we're on the air is because we have a generator, and most Cubans who are poor do not. And if you don't have a generator, you are in the dark. The entire island is in the dark.
Only thing fortunate for them, they're in a moderate climate, so I don't think they have an
Exactly.
ugly winter. They probably have a pretty hot summer, but you can.
And that we're in war in Iran, because if not, we'd probably have boots on the ground in Cuba right
Well,
now.
I
Jack.
thought Trump mentioned he's going to be
He has.
stepping into Cuba.
That's why I brought it up. That now it's a reality. Now they're in a position where we could leverage them and be back. I would
That's
love
a piece of peace
to go to
we
Cuba.
need. Yeah. Well,
Curtis Floyd has been to Cuba.
really?
Yes, he has.
Recently.
Yes, within the last 4 or 5 years.
Really?
After the Obama administration opened up some of the trading, he and his wife went down to Cuba. I've always wanted to go ever since I've read.
But you want to wait till it's back up on its feet a little more, though, because it's probably not. The Hilton there is probably not so great. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's communism. It's either really
Right.
nice or really bad.
Right.
There's no middle ground. It's either the Taj Mahal or it's a total dump.
Well,
That's the
I'd like
problem
to.
with communism.
Right. Totally. It's communism, which is where Mr. Mandami wants to head. But
Oh, God.
we have not focused on the Western Hemisphere ever, really. Mexico, South America, Central
Yeah,
America. We have
I
not
agree.
went in, and they are some of the worst places. And Mexico, right 12 feet from San Diego, the drug cartel is in charge of a whole country right next to us. And I guess this is the new leader, whatever. I forgot her name just now, but she,
young Jewish
she's not,
woman.
Scheinbaum. She's not going to fight it, she says, because there's too much bad things happen when you fight the drug cartels. Yeah, that's not untrue, but how do you live with them?
I don't see how they do it.
So,
And
yeah.
I don't see how you all are allowing your children to go down there. Because I have friends whose children are going down there. And I was like, are you serious? Like right now? Like, oh, Ralph, they go into these large cities that are all about tourism and they can't afford to let anything happen. Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay. You go
No,
right ahead.
Mexico, almost all Latin America right now, I'd say, is a little dangerous. Plus, you got to fly there, which is a whole nother problem in this country right
No
now.
kidding. We're just about to talk about that.
Yeah.
TSL lines.
Well, my problem is why we keep using initials, including the president and every politician on TV, TSA, TSA, TSA. My mother, rest her in peace, she wouldn't know what that meant. I mean, you should say the airline security. So people, I keep thinking they use too many initials all the time with these different government agencies. But yeah, this is very, very, very serious. And everything I read and see what people post, the family from here, that what it took, and they're still sitting in the airport, and they left yesterday morning. Then they got on the plane yesterday after just an hour and a half wait, which is great. Sat on the plane 6 hours because they had a problem with the plane. And then they had to get off the plane and spent the night on the floor of the airport.
Wow.
This is 2026, and we can't get this together. I don't know how I know the Democrats have to fight on certain hills, but
It's still about
it's not-
ICE,
yeah, but it's
which
really
is being funded until
it's being
2029.
funded. Yeah.
So it just goes to show the stupidity.
They
of the
say
Democratic
it's about
Party.
ICE, but it's really about the thing that touches people the most, and that's what I don't understand their logic. I think you could run against any Democrat congressman who has voted to keep that going and run ads all summer about it. So
They better pray that we don't have some kind of national disaster, either terroristic wise or weather wise, because FEMA is also involved. So you have a gigantic hurricane or tornado and have some community devastated.
well, isn't
and
the
there's
Northeast?
no FEMA.
Yeah, Northeast is going through a horrible
Are they?
ice thing right now.
Yeah.
It's going to hit them for the next few days, and broken power lines, all that happens.
crazy.
So it's been a bad winter for most of Eastern U.S. and Midwest. We got to be happy. We live in Bakersfield. Sort of happy? No, he's not happy.
Well,
He's
I
not
mean,
happy.
when you tie it to weather, I'm like, really? Because if it was like this, I was thinking, I just went on my top of the hour walk, and I swear I was thinking, if it were like this 5 months a year, this place, the population would be like 1.7 million. You know what I'm saying? Just 5 months. If we could just get from February, March, April, May to July 1st. Because July, August, September, it's hot all over the country, except for the Northwest and maybe the upper Northeast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we have a great
And San
October.
Diego. But otherwise, it's hot every place. We could just get to June. But with 90s in the forecast in March, this is going to be a long, hot summer.
Let me remind you, I grew up in Indio, California, Coachella Valley, at least 8 to 10 degrees hotter than here. This is cool to me. This is fine. I can't complain.
Well, yeah,
and then think of
80s.
Phoenix. Think of Phoenix. They're 118 all the time. So I think we're okay.
That's just.
But we have, October, November, and March, April, May. There's your 5 months. You just have to split them up a little bit.
I don't know. I walked across the stage at CSUB to receive my sheepskin on May the 4th, and it was 104 degrees.
And you're wearing
they gave
a
us,
thing.
yes, and they gave us water bottles to spray ourselves. They told us to check out of the line if you feel faint. And the classic line came from my mother, because I wasn't even going to go through the procession. But my parents insisted, and my mother was up here, and I kind of got into it at that point. And I'm introducing them to all my professors. And finally, my mother tugs me on the shirt. She goes, "Baby, I love you, but we got to get back to the hotel. It's hot out here." She was wearing this big old, Kentucky Derby hat. She's like, "I love you, baby. I want to meet all your professors, but it's hot. We got to go. I got to get back to the hotel." And it was 104 degrees. I'll never forget that.
Bakersfield.
God, and it was in the morning.
Yeah,
It was
they
at
do
7
it
o'clock in
early,
the morning.
8:30 or so.
Yeah. And it was still just miserable.
Well, well, how do our military handle the tough times?
I have no idea.
That's why we're not it. That's why we didn't join, I guess.
No kidding. So I assume you disagree with me, or you agree with me and you disagree with me. I assume you agree with me on the reason that we're bombing Iran and trying to end this nuclear infrastructure. But I assume you disagree with me in my criticism of how it's being waged. I just don't think Trump can afford to be Trump right now. He's got to play this straight down the line. He can't exaggerate. He can't lie. He was exaggerating today, saying that 90% of China's oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz. That's not true. He blew off a question about the 6 service people that were killed in the plane accident, the refueling accident. He's got to play this straight. This is war. These are people's kids. What say you?
Well, I think he often misspeaks, but I think the action being run is sanctioned by him, but created by Hegseth, who you don't care for, but I think he knows what he's doing. And
Let's hope so.
Secretary of State,
Marco Rubio.
Marco Rubio, and they know what they're doing. They've got a lot of bright people what they're doing, but Trump tends to speak too much. We know that. But hopefully that's chatter to keep things going here, but not impacting decisions there.
Well, if they knew what they were doing, why didn't they figure out the Strait of Hormuz situation prior to the bombing of Iran? And for my money, and I don't know what I'm talking about, but for my money, I would have thought they would have started with the Strait of Hormuz. That maybe that's where you begin the air attack in shoring up that coastal area.
But if you attack it, there's all those countries with their ships in there.
Well, by
we didn't tell them
that
to
time,
clear out.
by that time they had already been attacked.
Yeah.
They had already been made allies because the Iranians took a wild shot that by attacking them, they would turn on us, when in fact it's done the exact opposite. They're like, we can't let this happen.
Yeah, I've studied that map. That's a rough trap to be in.
It is. It really is.
How narrow. In fact, I don't know what I should have learned
I think it's 20 miles wide
at the most.
Yeah.
When it comes that little tip there, that's a rough place. And yeah, they're all those ships. Their cost of the ship, the cost of what's in the ship, they can't take chances. So
no, you're talking about billions of dollars.
Yeah.
For those, and they've lost their insurance.
Right. In fact, I've always wondered, they haven't rebuilt Baltimore, whatever that mess there too. That shot, the Baltimore, the bridge was a ship. It was a foreign ship's fault. I don't know if we got any money out of that country, but that destroyed, the overpass, killed people on the overpass and shut down that harbor.
Scott Key Bridge.
Yeah. All right. That was very serious too. So no, well, I don't know if every single thing has been thought through, but if we can, I don't understand this new leader, the son of him.
Who we haven't seen since the attack.
But he probably can't afford to be seen.
Yeah. He's on his deathbed. There's no question about that. He lost his mom, his dad, his father, his mom, his dad, his son,
and
his wife.
Son and wife.
Yes. Yeah. And you're going to tell me he wasn't maimed and he's just hiding out? No, he's horribly. The president went on and talked about how he's disfigured and all this. I don't know about all that, but he's clearly not capable of being seen right now, or he would have been seen by now.
Well, or he figures, how did they know what we were doing? They've got spies inside our building. He's probably having to clean everybody out. I mean, it was pretty brilliant what we did. How we knew there were 40 people, and someone said, didn't they ever learn about Zooms? So they weren't all in one room at one time. But wow, they took out a lot of the brains. Can he survive that and run that country? But I don't see, people say, well, the people should take over. How do you take over in a situation like that? No, they have no weapons, and the police force, whatever you want to call them, they have to make a decision. Let's see who's going to win this thing before I get in the middle.
Goes to show you how important the Second Amendment is.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, protect yourself. It's tragic what the stories you're hearing about what's happening to women there. They just have to kill a certain number to make an example, and then there's so ruthless. I've never seen people whose main thrust is religion to be as ruthless and hideous with people's lives and the torture they do. Anyway.
Yeah, they're despicable human beings who, despite 9/11 and despite their protestations about a better life, they basically have the same moral belief that we have. Isn't that exactly what we believe? That there's a better life after this life, and that we're all going to be together with our families and our loved ones after this life? Isn't that what we all believe as well? So this whole thing that they're kind of, bulletproof because they have the superior belief, their belief is no more superior than ours.
Well, but remember, they think that they're going to get rewarded if they kill off all of us when they get up there. They're still into that. They still believe that they're going to get rewarded for the violence and the killing that they're doing.
I believe that there is a way to alter behavior and beliefs. I really do.
Well, I mean, the leaders,
right.
The fanatical, the people, I don't believe are that way at all. They have the regular.
Yes.
Yeah, the heretics, the ones that sadly have been leading this nation for so long, since 79. The Shah, of course, he did overkill, right? And I don't mean that killing wise, but he had all the money and the people were mad about how rich he was. And so that caused them to head towards socialism. And then we have this now.
He was the 20th century Marie Antoinette. if I can.
Yeah, or I get worried about Mondamo, where he would, if we have a century of Mondamos around this country, what's going to happen to this country? Are we going to be capitalists or not?
I think capitalism is safe. I think he's already getting exposed already. And I think it's a wonderful thing for capitalism, because we know for a fact that democratic socialism, whatever you want to call it, communism, whatever, doesn't work. Doesn't work. And if we had known that in the 40s and 50s, that had never been a Vietnam. I had a Cuban Spanish teacher in high school who used to talk about that all the time, how stupid America was. And because he was a refugee from Cuba. And he was like, I've seen communism. It doesn't work. It cannot work. And he used to rant in a Spanish class about the domino theory. I learned about the domino theory in my Spanish 2
Good
class.
for him, though.
Yes. Ruben, little gay guy, Ruben, God, I can't remember his last name. Because he told us to call Ruben. And I cannot remember this, but he was one of the smartest professors I ever had. And he talked about the domino theory and how stupid Eisenhower was. Because, as a Cuban, he didn't give a damn about criticizing past presidents and stuff.
Right.
And then he said, and the really shocking thing is that Kennedy accepted it. Like, Kennedy was smarter than that. Why didn't Kennedy just say, no, North Vietnam is a pimple on our behinds? And he would go off. It was great. It was one of the best classes I'd ever taken. And it was a Spanish class.
College or high school?
High school. High school, yeah. Ruben Gregorio, Professor Gregorio. Great guy. Yeah, also taught Latin.
Well, I wonder, how many Cubans have come to Florida, if the politics of Florida reflects those Cubans
no question.
that have left there, and
No
they're
question.
so strong pro-America, and of course now very
So
strong
anti-Castro.
pro-Republican, anti-Castro.
That's why they hated Obama. Because Obama opened things up to Cuba. They were like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. I was writing a column for the newspaper at the time. And I don't know if this is funny or not. I thought it was. But my landlord at the time was named Fidel Martinez. And I told the story about how I sent my rent check to Fidel Castro. And I got a phone call from their management team.
Not funny, Ralph.
Your check did not clear. And back then I was like, like today, if somebody said that, I'd be like, get the hell out of here. But back in those days when I was working at Buckley Radio, I was like,
all the time.
What? It didn't clear.
What a shock. What a
Just
shock.
wait, slow down. You just made an error. You called our boss, Fidel Castro. And I was like, so? Well, Ralph, his name is Martinez. I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I didn't even, when she told me, I didn't even hear it.
I thought you were buying a week more on your
No,
checkbook by
I just
holding the rent up.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got big problems if in this country we can't get it right on capitalism, on the fact that this country is turning into full-time welfare goal on everybody. Go ahead.
I'll leave you with this. Am I wrong to say that the DA is going after the Open Door Network and Lord Skidmore for personal reasons rather than business reasons? And if I'm wrong, then is there truly a service provider that can provide greater service than the Open Door Network when it comes to domestic violence victims?
Well, two things. I don't know service providers in that field, so I can't say there is. I'm sure there are. There's tons of providers.
They can do a better job than what?
I can't say better job because I don't know the job that either of them are doing. I know this is being fought out in public. I didn't even know that
the Alliance
facility
Against
was there.
Family Violence and
Yeah.
Sexual Assault, and now
Yeah.
the Open Door Network has been doing for years.
Yeah, but I don't know this particular facility. Isn't this the one on West Wind?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in that particular facility. I
Oh,
think
no,
that's
they're
what we're
downtown.
talking
They're
about.
downtown. They're downtown. The Open Door Network.
Well, yeah, but this particular facility, I
The Family
thought
Justice Center?
was on West Wind, used to be Board of Trade.
I don't know where the Family Justice Center is.
Okay.
I guess that's
Anyway.
where it is.
So I don't have the particulars. I've read only the paper and listened to part of one of your shows on this. So
And your thoughts?
I would say that government contracts and non-profit providers go through a lot of give and take, and I don't know who's right or wrong. I can't decide that. I mean, who can?
I can.
You can?
This is personal.
Okay.
There's no question. Because they set it up badly. They did it poorly. They first came out and said, we can find a better provider. Then they came out and said, well, the real reason is because she's unethical. And I just think that's about as low as it gets. And Cynthia didn't even do it herself. She had Ken Russell and Joseph, please stand by because I want to keep these guys' names out there in case they ever run for DA, because I'm going to leave Joseph Kinzel. If they ever run for DA, I'm going to lead the charge against these gentlemen because I think Lauren Skidmore is one of the most ethical, honest human beings I've ever met. And I think it's just cheap. If you want to bitterly go after her because she's gone after your family or she's defending the wrong side of the family that you're a part of, that's fine. You should have just done it and made it clean. But then when they tried to go back and revenge after Skidmore talked about it and called her unethical, that's when it obviously got personal. And, you know, as I said on Friday, the big unfortunate thing is we're about to lose a really good DA. I think she would have been reelected in 28, but now she couldn't get elected dog catcher. And I don't think anybody
I don't know that she
associated
can run again, the sheriff or her.
No?
They got the extra 2-year terms that the governor's trying to put the sheriff's race into the general instead of just the primary. So he's changing. He changed it up, so he had to add 2 years. To some of the supervisors got an extra 2 years.
The DA can't run again and again and again. Didn't Ed Jagels run for more than 2 terms?
But the governor, I believe, changed that.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
But I'll double check. But that's why I support changing us to a charter county from being a general law, because then they can't control some of these things.
Yeah. Kathy Abernathy, everybody. We head into the back half of the hour. We'll talk about the problems with TSA. You'll hear from the press secretary on those delays. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. Rick Bentley joins us at 5. Don't go anywhere.
News.com.
Who's dinner? I.O.
Progressive Note News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
The trial for Joshua Staley that was supposed to happen this month won't. Instead, it is now set for June 15th. Staley is facing several charges related to the March 2024 kidnapping of an 11-year-old Bakersfield girl who prosecutors say he took to Utah, where he was caught thanks to his phone being tracked. If you see 16-year-old Sarah Current or 16-year-old Mackenzie Meadows, police would appreciate a call. Current is considered at risk and has been missing since February 5th. Police believe Current may have been seen with Meadows Thursday. Gas in California is now $5.48 per gallon of regular, says Gas Buddy. The cheapest in Bakersfield is $4.69 on Taft Highway. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Risa can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
In a galaxy far, far away, the Condors host Star Wars Night against the Calgary Wranglers on Saturday. Come dressed as your favorite character and meet Jedi, Stormtroopers, droids, Darth Vader, and more as they roam the concourse throughout the night. The first 2,000 fans get a Condors Light Sword. Plus, the team wears specialty droid jerseys for a charity auction. It's presented by Dignity Health, Clark's Pest Control, and 23 ABC. Doors open at 6. The puck drops at 7. The fun starts at just $15 at condorstown.com or by calling 324-POP. This is Condorstown.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire. including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
So I'm not defending this woman. Yes, her attitude probably stinks because, well, she's from Bakersfield. Two, she's got to put up with dumb people calling 911 because, well, she's from Bakersfield. Which leads me to my other question. Who in the hell still calls 911 in this community? Expecting somebody's going to actually show up to your 911 call. Let's just be real.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It was off when I walked in. Say what?
I'm sorry, I misheard you. Did you say the thing was red?
No, I said the light was off.
Oh, the light must be dying then.
I mean, it popped back on when I walked in the studio.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking I'm thinking you're saying the light, like the little sign that's outside the door that says if we're on air.
No. 842-537-6842 KR. And since we're just rambling, you know, I did something this weekend I've never done before when it comes to THC.
Uh-oh.
Can you guess?
Ate it? Did you eat an edible?
Yes.
Did you really?
That's exactly it.
I did. Wow. Okay.
I have never done an edible. I've done brownies. I got in trouble one night doing brownies.
I mean, that's kind of the same. I get what you mean. You're talking more gummy.
I just ate a total gummy. I've never done that in my life. I told you those guys that Highway 99 Collective hooked a brother up. Every time I do this, Chris gets mad. But they
I don't have to have words, man. I'm just saying.
They hooked me up.
I've been a customer for years.
To the point where I found the gummies in the bag this weekend. I was just like, I was cleaning up my bedroom and there was a bag sitting on the nightstand and I picked it up and it still had stuff in it, even though I'd taken out most of the materials. And there was like a bag and then there was like, oh, by the way, you were right about the little minis. There were some of those in there too. Remember, I thought I got two different flowers.
Yeah. No,
one was a flower and one was the minis, along with the big ones. And so I'm rooting through this thing, and I got like a CBD oil. Like, what do I do with that? Hello? What do I do with the CBD oil or CBD oil?
Hey, your guess as good as mine on that one.
I don't even know what to do with that.
I couldn't help it.
And there was a bag of gummies. And, you know, I had gout this weekend, so I'm not going anywhere. So I figured.
By the way.
What?
How is that back? Thought we were supposed to be doing better about this.
Because did you not see? You don't pay. You got to understand. Chris doesn't pay attention to the show.
I do, but I forget.
At the top of the show, I said that my allopurinol got wet, or it just congealed. It's like all like powder. I don't know how. I don't know whether I got it moist or if I left the top off and I got it moist. But it was all like, because I only take 150 milligrams. So I literally have to bite the pill in half. It comes in 300 milligram pills. I only take 150. So I have to bite half of it off. And somehow it's all like powder. So I ordered a new one on some more allopurinol on Friday. I didn't pick it up till Monday because I had gout. I wasn't going to walk. I'm not going to pay $24 to drive to Komodo Pharmacy and back. Maybe that's a stretch. It's like $8. So that's $16 round trip. So I just waited till today. And yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I could have, if we had the tournament today, I would have played. It's not bad. It's just uncomfortable. And I just, 7:30, because Mark and them play at 7:30. No one wanted to play Saturday. And Mark and them play at 7:30. And, when you're in pain and you got to get up early in the morning, and I'm going to just hobble around Sunnydale Country Club. No. And I told Mark I was going to play too. It's like the third or fourth time now I've told him I was going to play and I didn't show up. And I was looking forward to my In-N-Out burger too, I'll tell you. But instead, I sat around Saturday and ate a gummy, and I was like, this is so overrated. And then fly me to the moon. Man, I was serving drinks and people were watching a movie. We were at 35,000 feet and rising. That's why I don't like gummies, because you can't quantify it. You can't like regulate your inebriation. You know what I'm saying? But it was good. They were like watermelon and pineapple. It was like 3 different flavors. And I was shocked. I was like, man, this is bogus. There's nothing to this. And then, bam! All of a sudden, I'm like, Ralph, yes, you're staring out the window again. Not for that long. Well, it's been about 5 or 6 minutes. Oh, my bad. I was just staring out the window. It was a beautiful day. I had all the drinks up. Like normally I just have one up. I had 3 different windows, like compartments in my bedroom. And on some good days, I'll have 2 up, so where you can actually see me laying in bed. So that's why I don't pull up the second one. Hell, I had all 3 up. I don't care. Look at me in my bedroom, the 5 people that walk by. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, that's a bong on the windowsill. That's right. I'm 63 years old. I do every damn hell I want to do. Grown ass man, about to check out of this place. Want to judge me? Go ahead. I don't care. Sound like I'm on a gummy now, because I was just rambling. Dude, I was on the phone. I tried to call Torrance, my Morehouse buddy. Tried to call him in Atlanta. I was on the phone all afternoon because I took it at like 11. And I was like, till noon, I was like, I knew it. These gummies, it's totally overrated. At about 12:15, I'm like, I wonder who's winning the golf tournament. Well, if you stop staring outside at the traffic and turn and watch the television, oh yeah, there's a golf tournament going on. Sorry, I hate to share my THC-driven whatever's on the air. 842-537-6842-KERN. So, as I mentioned, if you are flying in the next couple of days before they settle what is going on with our budget and DHS, you're in bad shape. Like I told you, my buddy Chet, who is coming down here in a couple of days, was flying with his wife. His wife is still a flight attendant. She's been a flight attendant for like 30 years. And she got them through. They were trying to be like normal citizens. She wasn't going to use the fact that she's a flight attendant because they could zip her right through. And I'm like, you are stupid. And he's like, well, she didn't want to use that. I'm like, so you sat in line for an hour and a half when you could have zipped through? Yeah. And I'm like, see, that's why I'm not married. Because me and my wife would have been going. I've been like, use your debt. You've been a flight attendant for 30 years. What are we doing? Standing in line. Would you go and work your magic? Show them a badge or something? Good googly boogly. That man stood in line for an hour and a half. Didn't have to. I'm like, you stupid, Chad. You stupid. But it's going to be tough. Here's Carolyn Levitt talking about the ridiculousness of this stupid budget shutdown.
TSA agents who do a thankless job at airports across the country are going without pay. And now American air travelers are being impacted by this. The Democrats are playing partisan politics, and they can't even tell you why. They have no good reason for it other than they are trying to object to everything that President Trump wants. But this is a good thing for the American people, of course, to keep the Department of Homeland Security open and fully funded. That's what President Trump and the White House is calling on Democrats to do.
And by the way, in the year 2026, it's still early, granted, but Friday was the busiest flight day of the year. And people were backed up for hours. You heard Kathy's story of her friend. I told you about Chet waiting in line. This is in Sacramento. They waited an hour and a half for a flight at an airport that's not that much bigger than ours. Like, that's not true. It's much bigger than ours. But nevertheless, it ain't LAX. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even Burbank. And if you're headed out of there, be ready and get there in like 3 hours before your flight. Really. This affects 50,000 employees. Also affects UPS and FedEx. And we're talking about 171 million passengers. And these people are making anywhere from like 35 to 45 grand a year. And they just missed their first paycheck. And that's what's causing a lot of the backup because, you know, a lot of these young kids are like, well, if I'm not getting paid, why am I going to work? And I found out this morning that once they get paid, or I shouldn't say that, once they get a bill signed and DHS funded, it's like 6 to 8 weeks before they get their money. It's not like, okay, they sign this, the president signs it, we fund DHS, and either the next pay period or the next day, they get their money, their back money. No. Chase reacted better when I lost my money than these federal employees who get their money back 4 or 5 weeks later. I make good money, and I couldn't have survived if Chase had told me, yeah, we're going to return your money, Mr. Bailey, in like 4 or 5 weeks. You guys know how stressed I was when it went from 3 to 5 days to 5 to 7 days. That was my head was going to explode. And these people aren't getting their regular pay for 3 to 5 weeks after DHS is funded, which it is not. I don't blame them for staying home. I don't blame them. Who works for free? It's crazy. Particularly if you're in a big city, if you're in LA, making 45 grand, good luck. You're in Inglewood in a 1-bedroom apartment. You're maybe in Encino. You're in the Valley maybe, which is a hell of a drive to LAX. But if they're working at LAX, they're probably living in Inglewood, maybe El Segundo. You can get something cheap. Maybe Culver City. But you're struggling in LA, 35 to 45 grand. Are you kidding? Let's go ahead and take a quick time out. And we come back. We'll check the board for the first time today. Then at the top of the hour, Mr. Bentley is here. He's got a menu with him. He's going to break down what he's going to order when I take him to dinner, apparently. Although, like I said, if we can get Teresa Golden involved, I can get Teresa to buy my dinner, and I'll buy Rick's dinner. We'll all be one big happy family. Because I believe our judge is 2 bets down to a brother. Just saying. Just saying. Quick time out. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Monday. A gorgeous Monday. But heat wave on the way. Get ready. Get ready. Check in on seniors. Go buy yourself a fan while you can. I know I have. I am not using my AC this summer. And I'm not moving into my bedroom with the ceiling fan. So I'm either going to buy a fan or a minor air conditioning unit that I'm going to put in my bedroom. One of the two. I haven't figured it out yet. Got a little time. Quick break. Coming right back. It's TRBS on a Monday right here on News Talk 96.1 at AM 1180 KERM, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1.
Adaptive.
ERN. The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Nobody's talking about that self-worth and purpose. Who's talking about that? Nobody says it. There's more to you than what you're doing. Let's help you get there.
Let's help you get there. Let's just all agree that there's many different roads for different people dealing with homelessness and living on the streets to get them.
Right, I agree with you.
And as long as we can start there, then I think we can start to make a bigger dent.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
The Kern Radio studios are powered by, in bright multicolors, Adaptive Network. Call them today at 661-241-0638 or hit them online at adaptive-net.com. And it doesn't matter whether you're a local small company or a growing enterprise, Adaptive Networks adapts to you. Their customer-driven approach means you get exactly what you need, nothing more, nothing less. And again, as I always remind you guys, nobody knows that better than those of us here at American General Media. because they're a client of ours and we are a client of theirs, and we depend on our IT. We can't afford to have our IT provider say, well, we'll be out there tomorrow. No, that's what makes the difference for Adaptive Networks. They respond quickly. So don't settle for generic IT support. Call Adaptive Networks today and discover what truly customized technology solutions can do for your business. Call them at 241-0638. That's 661-241-0638 or online at adaptive-net.com.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Dr. Roland Rodriguez.
Hello, this is Bakersfield General Surgeon Dr. Roland Rodriguez, client and friend of Mr. Paul Sheldon. It is my great pleasure and privilege to relate to all of you my absolute exemplary experience with Team Paul Sheldon. I have also referred a number of my colleagues to Paul Sheldon's office, only to receive the most stellar feedback from my doctor friends regarding the office's expert navigation through the complex maze that is Medicare. And even though Paul Sheldon himself is now facing some temporary health challenges, his longstanding and most experienced and expertly trained team of ladies, Christine, Kelly, and Lynn, continue to masterfully guide the clients through the complicated world of Medicare. You most definitely could not possibly do any better than to reach out to Paul Sheldon several months before turning 65. Thank you.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298. Running a business takes grit, vision, and a partner who believes in your success as much as you do. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built around you. The entrepreneurs, the growers, the dreamers, powering our community. Whether you need flexible checking, faster payments, or financing to take your next big step, Valley Strong brings local expertise and real relationships to every stage of your business. Because when local businesses thrive, the whole valley grows stronger. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business, grow your future. ValleyStrong.com/business.
The Central Coast is starting to look a lot like the motherland. It's time to dust off those clubs.
At CentralCoastGolfCard.com, 11 premier California golf experiences are just $125. Enjoy fresh greens, ocean breezes, and the best golf landscapes in the state for the rest of the year. Why pay full price when you can play more and save more? Visit CentralCoastGolfCard.com today and start swinging into spring.
CentralCoastGolfCard.com. More golf, less green.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.
For 2KERN, Kathy Abernathy, the professor, has texted in and responsibly corrected herself. The sheriff and the district attorney can, in fact, run again in 2028. I used to think that our DA would not run, but watching how she handled the Open Door Network dismissal, I think she's running again. And I'm using my own logic that I presented to you all. In the circles in which she runs, do you really think she hears pushback about either what she did or did not do in the situation with her nephew or the situation with Ms. Skidmore and the Open Door Network? Do you really think she's got people whispering, Cynthia, that was a bad look? This girl who's clearly sided against your nephew and with his estranged wife, and then you end the contract with her company after she just made a very visible appearance with said estranged wife and one of the children that your nephew terrorized for the rest of their lives. Don't you think the timing's just a little bit off? You really think somebody's telling her that? No. They're telling her, who is Ralph Bailey? Who gives a damn what he says or the coverage that 17 has been doing on this and the questions that they've been asking? Who gives a damn? Okay. Maybe nobody. But we'll certainly see, because I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that either Ken Russell or another one of her flunkies Joseph Kinzel or Ms. Zimmer herself never is our prosecutor ever again, because I think what they have done to the Open Door Network and to Lawrence Skidmore is unacceptable, for lack of a better term. And I think it's personal. I think it's obvious. I think we've made the case where if you follow the paperwork, there was some allusion to her shutting up back in September of 2025. But beyond that, there was absolutely no paperwork of any problems with the Open Door Network. And they've talked about certain cases. I think the gentleman's name was either a Kevin or a Keith Mays. And the Mata case, that horrendous torture case that occurred right around the corner from where we are right now at a local hotel. But then all of a sudden they ramped it up. First, they came out and said that we could find a better service provider. In fact, I can read to you what the district attorney's spokesperson said about this originally. She originally said that they had simply found a better provider. The new provider has a greater depth. Where are my glasses? Please stand by. New provider has a greater depth of victim service programs that we feel are more tailored to the needs of victims, and we are confident that the improved services will enhance our ability to assist victims of sexual assault, domestic violence, human trafficking, and elder abuse. Now remember those words, because that says they've already hired somebody. Let's find out, because the paperwork will show the trail. They're claiming that they just got sick of the Open Door Network and that they found a provider that could do better, right? Don't we want that from our DA? Don't we want that from our Family Justice Center, for them to find the best network or best group that can provide victims some sort of solace and comfort and assistance? But do you really believe that? Do you really think they found somebody that can do better than the Open Door Network? And if they did, why don't they tell us who it is? But then the story changed. Then all of a sudden, the story wasn't about finding a better provider, as Gonzaga, or whatever the hell her name is, the PR, the mouthpiece for the DA's office, that changed their story. They moved out the public relations person, and they moved in Cynthia Zimmer flunkies. This Russell and whatever the Joseph character's name is. And that's when they came out with the harsh allegations that Lawrence Skidmore was unethical. Cynthia Zimmer didn't do it. Oh, no. Those fingerprints aren't going to be found anywhere in something that would tear apart that young woman. She'd have her flunkies do it. That's why we're going to remember those names in case they ever try to run for dog catcher in this town. But I think she's unwise enough. If she's unwise enough to attack the Open Door Network and Lawrence Skidmore, she's unwise enough to think that people will forget about this and that she could run unscathed from her nephew and this nonsense in 2028. And we're just not going to let that happen. As a community, we're just not going to let that happen. And as I said Friday, as I said time and time again, it's unfortunate because we're losing a really good DA. We're losing a DA who hates criminals and does everything in her power to put those people away. But you can't, out of personal animus, go after people and try to ruin their careers and their lives just because you have a nephew who is a POS, just a god-awful human being in anybody's objective eyes. Because at the end of the day, when you're off on the coast with Ed Jagels and the Green family, those 4 children are still going to have to deal with that no-good son of a gun, Zach Scrivener, for the rest of their lives. When they're 63 years old, they'll think about their dead dad and what he did to them. And the idea that there's anybody that would run roughshod for him, that would run distraction for him, that would pay for his defense after what he did to 4 children, absolutely remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. And in my opinion, only right here in Bakersfield. Only right here in Bakersfield. Where people feel like if you get enough power and enough money, just like every place else, you do whatever the hell you want. And it's probably right. Unless we stand up. We, this community, can't allow it. Quick time out. The Oscars chimed in just inside of 4 hours, I believe. We'll talk about that and some of the surprises with KG entertainment reporter Rick Bentley. Hello. I'm good, Cheat.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. European Union foreign ministers are weighing a decision on what to do to keep the Strait of Hormuz open in order to stop an energy crisis.
Meeting in Brussels on Monday, EU foreign ministers were discussing Trump's demand for warships to help protect shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. The foreign ministers of Germany and Estonia said they wanted more clarity on what the US and Israeli aims were for the conflict and when it would end. Germany also insisted that the war has nothing to do with NATO. I'm Karen Shamas.
President Trump has been venting on his social media website. White House correspondent Greg Clugston has more on the story.
In several lengthy late-night posts, the president expressed anger and frustration about several subjects and people. He raged against the U.S. Supreme Court for its decision last month overturning his tariffs, writing that Chief Justice John Roberts is completely inept. He also complained about the federal judge who blocked a probe of the Fed chair, calling him wacky and nasty, and proclaimed that media outlets should face charges of treason for their coverage of the Iran war. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Storms sweeping across the eastern half of the country are disrupting air travel across the United States. FlightAware reported more than 4,200 U.S. flights canceled Monday and about 96 others delayed. The storms already dumped heavy snow across parts of the Midwest. Severe thunderstorms hit parts of Virginia and North Carolina as the system moved east. A recovery day on Wall Street with the Dow up by 387 points. The Nasdaq rose 268, with the S&P 500 advancing 67. More at townhall.com.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from consumeraffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, "After hearing Mike Rowe's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk, and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today!" Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words "switch today" in capital point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. that's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
But no.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
In the kidnapping of a child in 2024, I'm Chris Davis. You may remember hearing about the events of March 17th, 2024, when an 11-year-old girl was taken from her home in the early morning hours. Bakersfield police and prosecutors say by Joshua Michael Staley of Colorado, who they believe she had been communicating online with. His trial has now been pushed back from this month to June 15th. Staley was caught with the girl on I-70 in Utah after police tracked his phone. 16-year-old Sarah Current is still missing and has been missing since early February, but police believe they may have a lead. They believe she was with 16-year-old Mackenzie Meadows Thursday, and Meadows is also considered missing. Meadows was last seen near airport and Olive drives around 9:24 p.m. Thursday wearing a red hoodie, black shorts, and black and white Nikes.
Yeah,
she's 5'9", 150 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes, say police. You may have heard this morning about the expected record high temperatures this week in the mid-90s in the last few days of winter in Kern County, thanks to a high pressure system that is keeping the sun shining and the clouds away. A second high pressure system is expected to reinforce that early next week and keep highs in the 90s. Your forecast is coming up. This weekend, an event that was partly designed to help people who are having trouble getting the proper food permits to sell food legally was held at Bell Terrace Park. And that was part of Small Business Day and was put on by Corazon Latina. Lately, Kern County Public Health and police have been cracking down on people who are selling food without that paperwork, shutting some of them down and putting the kibosh on unpermitted swap meets that attracted non-permitted food sales. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180. KERN.
What do you think this is, the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get up close like this. Little bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast on this Monday, 16th day of March. Still lots to do. Coming up, we'll talk about Cuba, although I have spoken about that earlier in the broadcast. Tell you about the Players' Championship that came down to the 72nd hole. Cameron Young needed a birdie on 17 to tie. And then Matt Fitzgerald needed a par to get into a playoff. Playoff. I'll tell you a little bit about that. And the Dodgers are messing with the Dodger brand? Really? I'll explain in just a second. And if we have time, we've got some audio we might play from Kristi Noem. She is facing possible perjury charges. I told you I have audio of her now that we look back, absolutely lying. And the unfortunate thing of the 4 pieces that I have, 2 were in news conferences, but 2 were like this, hand on the Bible and right hand to God. So the Democrats, I think, have a very strong case of perjury, and I think they're going to go after her, and I think they're going to be successful. There's going to be one prosecution that they're going to get right, but we'll get into that. But it is a Monday, and it's a rare Monday. Obviously, post Academy Awards, we had to bring back the man who got it right. I absolutely jinxed the black girl from one day after another, or whatever it is. I jinxed her. I gave her the mush.
I'm not going to accuse you of jinxing because she had no chance.
Really? I thought that
told you I had 2 locks. I had 2 that I just knew beyond a shadow of a doubt. I would have bet the house on those 2. And she was one of them.
And what was the other one? Jessie Buckley?
Jessie Buckley for Hamnet.
Yeah.
I saw it award show after award show after award show. I mean, it literally would have taken a terrorist act to stop her from getting it, I think. I mean, it was just both of those were they were no question.
Yeah. I'm just an old man. That's what I've got to turn to from now on. I can't just continue to say it's a different era. I'm a 20th century guy. I'm just an old man. And I don't get it. I just
Get off
think
my lawn.
Exactly. Because I think in the 20th century, even the speeches were better. They were heartfelt and they weren't like emotional, like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe I've got.
Wait.
They weren't. They were more dignified to me.
You don't remember Sally Fields?
Well, there's always an outlier, and
you like me.
They like
you
me.
really like.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
There's always an outlier.
There's plenty of those. You're just old and you don't remember them.
That's why. What did I lead with? What did I lead with? I'm an old man.
You're burning out whatever brain cells you got with all those gummies and stuff.
Damn right.
Now.
Damn Skippy.
It's going to be, it's just going to be the RB show because you can't even remember your name.
I popped in right around 4 o'clock, right around tea time Sunday.
There we go.
Oh, we're about to start. I better pop in. No, I'm kidding. But I don't know. It's hard to watch. It really is.
Well, I think what's hard to watch, and I'm not disagreeing with you. Some of the speeches were bad, but
including your girl, Amy Madigan, who set the stage.
Yeah, well,
that was one of the worst speeches I've ever heard.
Yeah, and again, because she had to know she was going to win. You should be ready.
Thank you.
Even if you're nominated and you don't, even if you think I have no shot, you should have something ready.
Yes,
just in case, because you don't want to get up there and ramble on.
Yeah,
and
as they mostly do.
And they do. And another example of why actors are not great at doing this stuff, because you give them a speech.
Exactly.
But again, they could get a speechwriter to say, write me a 90-second acceptance speech.
They have publicists. They have all kind of aides that could do this.
But then there's that ego factor. I don't want to have other people's words in my mouth when I'm accepting this very personal. No, you want to come off as intelligent and bright and smart and
All right, so let's go through it. I thought Michael B. Jordan deserved the win. I think you predicted that as well, because of the two characters and because he's starting to come into his own.
And did you see that? Because we had talked about how Timothée Chalamet had talked himself out of the award.
Absolutely.
And now Timothée Chalamet has gone public today with how upset he is that they made fun of him at the Oscars.
I was going to say, when you're in the monologue, he might as well grab the Kylie or Chloe or Courtney or whatever one he's dating and got back in the limo and gone home.
Yeah, he knew before he got there.
Yeah.
He knew he had blown it.
Yeah.
And this will go down as one of those, you had the Oscar on your shelf.
Yeah, he really did.
And you took the shelf, not only took the Oscar off, you knocked the shelf down and burned the house behind you.
What is your professional opinion? Sinners had an unbelievable musical interlude.
Right.
That included ballet.
Oh.
Was that added?
No. That scene is almost directly from the movie.
Okay.
That is.
I thought they threw that in there.
No. That's one of the wonderful scenes in the movie because they're talking about, they're representing Black culture, musical culture.
Right.
And so you go into this speakeasy and you see that jazz performance, but slowly they begin to shift in Chinese dancers and ballet dancers and hip hop, and so all this sort of salute to Black
different
music
genres.
and different genres and Black artists and that sort of thing. And so no, that wasn't put in there for that.
Okay, I thought that was just a little dig.
No, that is directly from the movie.
Okay.
It's one of the scenes that I told you this from the other day. Had Sinners beaten one battle after another, I would have been happy. I predicted one battle, and I like being right. But I'm telling you, Sinners is just as good.
Yeah.
And I've said this several times in talking about the Oscars. I hate that it's apples and oranges. You've got one battle after another, which is a real political story. It's a family story. Then you've got Sinners, which is about culture and race and music and vampires. Comparing those two is apples and oranges.
Yeah.
And so it's not that fair. But what do? You can't just have 14 categories. This is our best, rom-com. This is our best comedy. This is
right. That's what the Golden Globes are all about.
Yeah, and we make fun of that.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And that has to do with the voters.
Yeah.
I have a complete disrespect.
The Hollywood foreign
for
press.
Hollywood foreign press.
Yeah.
And I can tell you stories. I have been in those rooms with those people and seen how they act.
I think you've told us one or two.
Nicole Kidman told me a great story about what she has to go through with them. And so it's like, yeah, even the celebrities get it. It's like, come on. So anyway.
Yeah. All right. So that wasn't a shot.
I'm sorry.
What?
I think my stomach's rumbling.
Well, dinner's a long way away, my brother.
I'm really hungry. Just
let me know when.
Yeah, and I'm not the kind of guy that say I told you so, but I'm just.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Amy Madigan wasn't off the stage by the time you texted me.
I know.
Are you going crazy? She was still in the wings, and my phone went off, and I'm like, I wonder who that is. I'm not even going to answer it, but I'll just take a look. Look, it's Rick Bentley.
I had
There's a
it
shot.
ready. I had it ready. It's like,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
She was still on stage.
You know the mistake you made?
What was that?
And what surprises me, because you've been to Vegas so many times, you bet against the house.
True that. That is true. I went against the expert.
I don't have much to give in life, but I do know entertainment a little bit.
All right. Well, let's quickly. I only have a couple minutes left. Let's quickly. Who won Best Supporting Actor?
That went to Sean Penn.
Oh, that's right. He wasn't even there.
And that's one I missed.
Why was he not there?
Well, he doesn't like that stuff.
Is that why he wasn't there, or did he really have something else to do?
I don't know. I have not heard whether he was working on a movie. I know he's just not a big fan of these things.
Yeah.
And incidentally, he's won 2 Oscars. We had this discussion, and the last one was for Milk.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Where he played Harvey Milk, the gay
and the other
supervisor
the
was
other
killed.
was for Mystic River.
Was for what?
Mystic River.
Oh, Mystic River. That's a great film.
Yeah. So anyway.
And he kills it. No
Oh,
pun
yeah.
intended in that film.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is great in that picture.
So
All right.
that's
So
what I
Best
missed.
Actress went to Jessie Buckley.
Right.
The Best Supporting Actress went to
Amy Madigan.
Best Director went to One Day at a Time, or whatever the hell it's called.
Paul Thomas Anderson.
From, what's it called?
One Battle After Another.
One Battle After Another. What's the other big one? Best Picture went to One
Yeah, with
Battle After the Other.
Another. Best Animated. I think a lot of people keep up with that.
Mhm.
You know, that went to K-pop Demon Hunters.
I know. I was going to have to play that today. I forgot.
Yeah, and one of the things I hated about the telecast overall was that we spent all this time with these goofy comedy bits. We really don't need them.
They really don't.
Okay, but we get to
The whole thing with the cast from
the Bridesmaid.
Bridesmaid.
Yeah, that went on forever.
Ever.
But you end up playing off the people from K-pop both times they're up there for winning Best Animated Film and Best Song, even to the point where they dropped the microphone down into the floor. I mean, and it's like rushing them off. And it's like,
Yeah, that's not right.
look, I don't believe in long speeches. I hate it. But you just can't. You got to give people time, or at least set a rule. You can't bring 7 people up there. You bring one person or 2 people, and you designate the speaker. You're not going to all get this.
Yeah.
And if you can't do it in that, you're done. So
Any other big surprises?
no, I think everything went the way expected. Frankenstein to carry all the technical stuff.
Yeah, they did well, Frankenstein.
Yeah.
You weren't a fan of the film, though.
Oh, I still think the film sucks.
Yeah.
But I do admit, if you look at all those nominees, and they showed the clips as we were watching, you went, well, yeah, Frankenstein really does have the best of those.
Right.
And I knew Avatar was going to win special effects. I mean, they had
Sure.
to give it something. So yeah, there was nothing that really surprised me.
What grade would you give our Harvard graduate, Mr. O'Brien?
I would give him a B-.
Yeah, that's a good grade.
You know, I think he's not the best
No.
at it, but it's a thankless job, and there's really no way to win at that job.
Mhm.
And now I've heard, I mean, they lived, at the end of it, they had this big comedy bit about him being named the host for life.
Right.
Well, that's real. They offered him the job to be the host the rest of the time. ABC has the Oscars, which is only 2 more years.
Right.
But he would be the host the next 2 years if he accepts it. He has not accepted it yet.
And then it's going to YouTube.
Then it's going to YouTube, and we won't have these conversations.
Yeah, because I ain't watching it.
No,
I'm not watching it on
That's
YouTube.
going to, it's going to be one of those things where, and again, if you look at the nominations, it's all those films are really aimed at an older audience.
Yeah.
F1 may have been the closest thing to a film in that top 10 that would have attracted younger people. So it's younger people really are probably going to be the ones gravitating to YouTube. But if they're not watching the movies, where are they going to watch it? But if older people don't care about YouTube, they're not going to. The rating's going to be crash and burn.
Yeah, I hope so.
I do
hope
too.
they get punished. I really do.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, and If it's for money,
Of course
makes
it
even
is.
worse. Yeah.
Of course it is.
Well, that's like the talk right now. CBS may lose the NFL contract.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, the NFL saying that it's worth more money than CBS is paying, and with CBS new management, who's going to, are they going to step up? So it's a lot going on.
Yeah, there is. There is. All right. Well, let me know when you want to go to dinner.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
All right. Very good. Rick Bentley, everybody. Got to take a quick time out. And we come back. We'll check the board, see what you all are talking about. Bottom of the hour, we'll tell you about the Players' Championship down in Ponte Vedra as we slowly approach April. What does that mean in the world of golf, Mr. Burdick?
The Masters?
The Masters.
You have to say it quietly.
Which is an interesting name. I heard this from a comic this weekend. Yeah. I heard this from a comic this weekend. Isn't that an interesting name for a golf tournament in the Deep South?
So,
think about it. I stole it from a comic. I could have taken credit for it, but I stole it from a comic. And I started thinking about that. I was like, and then he went even further. He was like, they ought to call it Massa. That's when I lost it. That's when I lost it. Quick time out. We're coming right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. Don't go anywhere. That was good. That was good.
Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Oh, and I wanted to
The
bring up the
JR
casting
Show,
thing, too.
weekdays at 2 p.m.
So I'm
Like, why
not
took it so long
defending this
to
woman.
recognize
Yes,
the
her attitude probably
Like, that's
stinks
not a
because,
part
well,
of the
she's
fucking
from
formula?
Bakersfield. Two, she's got to put up with dumb people calling 911 because, well, she's from Bakersfield. Which leads me to my other question. Who in the hell still calls 911 in this community? Expecting somebody's going to actually show up to your 911 call. Let's just be real.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Attention, Medicare beneficiaries in Kern County. If you're eligible for Medicare and looking for a doctor who listens and cares about you with minimal wait times and prompt referral authorizations, it's time you learned about QualCare IPA. For years, I've been telling you QualCare IPA contracts with most Medicare Advantage health plans and provides you with access to a large network of outstanding doctors and quality hospitals right here in Kern County. Medicare Advantage health plans go beyond original Medicare benefits coverage, and understanding these coverage differences may be confusing. Call us today, 661-554-4544, and let us help you understand your options for 2026. Call today, 661-554-4544. That's 661-554-4544. Get the information you need and the coverage you deserve. For accommodations of persons with special needs and meetings, call 661-554-4544. TTY 711.
All the ones that got rid of my bed to be close to by kind of this weird way.
Every day is sale day. No one can beat us, no one can touch us. You won't find better prices. Shopping
All right, sir.
Thank
you. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you.
Take a look our way and come into Carpet Outlet.
All right, we'll see you Friday.
Every day is sale day.
Carpet Outlet Plus is celebrating 30 years in business by offering you no interest financing for 12 months. Head over to carpetoutletplus.com to apply now. You can get new waterproof flooring and comfy carpet in the bedrooms, all from one trusted place. Over 70,000 customers can't be wrong. It's probably been time to change your floors for a while, so call, click, or stop by today. Carpet Outlet Plus, 3.5 blocks west of 99 on Rosedale Highway.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
And we're back. Rob and Bob here once again for California Fruit Depot. Rob seems to be laughing. This is a commercial. We only have 60 seconds.
Okay.
We need to sell citrus
and nuts.
Dates, nuts, dried fruits. We need to tell people where we are as if they can't do it by Google. And if you don't know where we are by now,
You're not listening enough.
you're really not listening. Pay
Get in your
attention.
car, drive around, and
Here's
listen.
something that you're going to pay attention to. I would like to, and I hate to get political, I would like to merge Kern County with San Luis Obispo County.
That's a great idea.
We can do a lot with it.
What took you so long?
They can use our resources. We can use their resources.
Oceanfront property for us.
Listen, oil, ag, and beach. Moving on. We need a tag phrase at the California Fruit Depot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The one we've been using is, it's just like Disney, but with only citrus.
I think it's too complicated, way too long.
And the cease and desist letters are stacking up high. Enough about this foolishness. Just visit California Fruit Depot. Come on out to Edison and say hi.
I mean, what a pro.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Yes to this. What? This is the K-pop song. Oh, this is it? I could have. I had no idea. Well, obviously it's in English, but yes.
Good for the South Koreans. My best friend is half South Korean. I told you about John Tempero and how his life was literally a MASH episode. Like literally. His father was a doctor in the Korean conflict, and he met a beautiful South Korean woman, and he brought her back to the States, and they lived happily ever after, literally. And had 4 wonderful children. Margot, who it sucks. Have you ever had a friend who's got a hot older sister?
Yes.
Oh, it's the worst. It's just the worst. Because you pull up into their driveway and you're just like, God, I hope Margot's home. God, I hope she's home. And you walk in and she's there.
You want to see her more than you want to see
Yes. And then there's nothing you can do because she's a senior and you're in 9th grade and you're not even a pimple on her butt, but yet you would drink her bath water. And just when she walks in the room and says, hi, Ralph, I'm just like, ha, 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 hi, Margot. And, oh, God. His sister was our head cheerleader when we were in 9th grade. She was in 12th grade. She was our head cheerleader. And she was the most popular. She was our homecoming queen. She was the most popular girl in the world. Because I told you Tempero's a pretty boy. Because they have that mixed, the dad is French, Tempero, and the mother was South Korean. And together, my cousins, the Sewsbury's kids, all had, the only thing worse than having your best friend, older sister be hot is your friend be a pretty boy and all your relatives love him. Like my cousins, the Sewsburys, they weren't really my cousins, they were my dad's best friend's children, would be like, is John coming over? Like, no! He lives in Northridge. Mind your damn business. Hated that. They loved this guy, and they thought he was Hawaiian because, they kind of have the darker complexion from the French and kind of a different complexion because of the South Koreans. And that South Korean and that French makes them incredibly ethnically ambiguous. And so some would guess that he was Mexican. Some people thought he was Hawaiian. So, I mean, because his eyes weren't completely Asian, but they were a little Asian. And he just had a dark complexion. And he hung out at the beach. I hated Tempero. Hated him. And he's my best friend. Hated him. Hated him. He was dating not only was his sister, I don't know why I go on these rants. I'm going back to my childhood. Would you just give me a break here? Let me just ramble. Not only was his sister the hottest woman at our school, but Tempero was dating the hottest young black girl at our school, Denise Williams. My best friend is dating the hottest black girl in the school. When there are about 12 black folks in the whole damn school, my best friend's got the hot, cute little funny. That's okay. I was dating a very attractive young Greek girl until her dad stepped in and put the kibosh on it. Actually, my mother put the kibosh on it after he came to our house and made a big kerfuffle, and my mother damn near beat his ass. It's a great story. I'm not going to tell it. 842-537-6842-KERN. What do you got on the board?
The Open Door violated the contract by talking to the media about ongoing cases.
And you think that's why they broke the contract? If they were really concerned about what she said affecting cases. Why did they only begin in September of 2025? Why would they have not made this clear to her before that? The Mata case was going on before that. It seems to me with these letters that are being backdated and et cetera, et cetera. And if that's the case, then why bring up ethics? Why not simply say that the Open Door Network has overstepped its bounds and is making prosecution a little bit tougher? But the wording that they used, that they're not going to accept unprofessional, unethical behavior. Did you not hear me read some of the things that they said about the lack of professionalism and refusal to take direction on appropriate ethical conduct exhibited by Ms. Skidmore, in combined with the existence of more comprehensive alternatives? Are you believing that? That they've already found somebody? That they have somebody that's going to provide better service? Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Because I'm going to track the paperwork. We're going to find out when they reached out to whomever substitutes for the Open Door Network. Or we're going to interview them personally on the air. We're going to ask them, when were you contacted by the DA's office? We're going to find out when exactly they hired him, because at first they said they just found a better provider. And then they personally went after Lawrence Skidmore. This is a slam dunk. This isn't even close. Quick timeout, last half hour of the broadcast. I would stick around if I you.
News Talk
Have you used Fred
96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. A federal judge in Boston has blocked federal health officials from cutting.
Hey, you want to bust out the pummel right now? Because we have Messmaker in the last break.
Three, two. I agree. Once again, I agree with what the president is trying to do, and that is destroy the ballistic missile shield of Iran's nuclear infrastructure. I get it, but I don't get how they're doing it. Asking for China to help us in the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranians aren't attacking Chinese cargo ships, A, and B, do you really think the Chinese want to help us with the Iranian situation? And it makes us look weak. 3, 2. It's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Tuesday TRBS. Well, if it's a Tuesday, our former federal magistrate judge, Teresa Golder, will join us, and we'll have the latest on the Iranian situation and a whole lot more on the Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. I'll see you at 3. Oh, shit. I got to walk. Bad ankle and all. I got to walk.
Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Don't you talk about my family. I'll talk about your family. Listen, for years, people going around saying, black is beautiful. They took one look at your family and said, hold everything.
Well, that's something you wouldn't understand. We have inner beauty.
Yeah, what?
Inner beauty.
Well, you better put your liver where your face is.
For example, you are crude and evil, and most of all, you stupid.
How'd you like one across your lips?
Come on, try.
Come on, now.
Come on, Stumpy.
Stumpy. I'm tall enough to give you 3 of these in your nose. Come on.
Oh, no, you won't.
Yes, I will.
Would you two stop it?
Tell us.
I'm surprised at you. You mean to tell me you'd hit a lady?
No, I wouldn't hit a lady, but I hit her.
Fred G. Sanford and Aunt Esther and the late Damon Wilson, who just passed away a couple of months ago, like the end of the year, who went on and had a really good series that I bet not one of you ever saw. I'm Back with Denise Nichols. And she plays his estranged wife because he was no good and a gambler. And now he's stopped drinking. He's no longer gambling. And he moves back into the apartment complex where his ex-wife lives with her daughter, Kim Fields, who I told you I met in 1988 for the most odd reason. She was in the trailer in which I interviewed the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who was vying for the presidency that year at the Democratic National Convention. It was a great series. It lasted like 2 seasons. They never gave it a chance, but it was really, really funny. And I found that Janet, I can't remember her last name. Look up Brian's song and see who played Billy. Oh my God, Billy D's wife in Brian's song. Janet something, Cass.
Is he Judy Pace?
Judy Pace, Cass Pace, something like that. She recently passed away. And this is probably either for really old people or really old black people. But do you remember the Good Times episode where James and Esther Roll, Florida, go off to a cabin together? And a girl, it's his buddy's cabin, and a girl shows up thinking she's going to meet James's buddy, but instead runs into James because Florida's down at the phone booth calling the kids, and he has to deal with that. And then Florida walks in on them, and boo boo. That is, what's her name? Judy Pace.
Yeah.
Judy Pace, and she also played Billy D. Williams's wife in Brian's song, which I'm assuming you all saw. And do you see Brian's song? Oh, but you don't know who she is anyway. I was going to ask you a trivia question.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've actually seen this movie.
Brian's song?
Yeah, I may have to actually check this one out.
And what do you do in the mornings? From 7 to 9?
This one missed. I missed this one.
But what do you do from 7 to 9 in the morning?
I understand that I have a sports show. I realize that, but again, I missed this one.
When I set it up, you got to follow through with the deal. They don't get mad.
I'm not getting mad. I'm just saying, like,
play along with the bit. I do a sports show, Ralph, and you do a sports show, and you never seen Brian's song.
I am. Yeah, no,
That's crazy, dude. It's one of the greatest sports films in the history of sports films. Would y'all text your thoughts on Brian's song? I'm not even going to say, tell this boy how great a film this is. Just text in real quick and tell him what you think of Brian's song. It's just and it's a true story. I'm shocked that you've never heard of Brian Piccolo or Gale Sayers.
Oh, no, I know who Gale Sayers is and Piccolo, but I just didn't know there was a movie about this.
Yes, Brian Piccolo was the leading runner out of Wake Forest, but Gale Sayers was a much bigger name at Kansas and was much more dramatic. Brian Piccolo was kind of like a John Cappelletti, kind of who was the fullback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers during their heyday, number 48. The guy that wore the neck brace. It was that kind of like that kind of a runner, kind of a banger, not very pretty, but he led the nation.
Mike Allstott.
Mike Allstott. It's kind of like that. And but he got drafted by the Bears, and so now he's vying for a position with arguably one of the greatest running backs who ever lived. And he stayed with him for a while, and they became really good friends. In fact, they became the first interracial rooming in NFL. And this is in the mid-1960s, where black players did not room with white players until George Halas desegregated the locker room in I think it was 65, 66. And they became really good friends. Their wives became really good friends. And then he came down with cancer and died within a year and a half, 2 years. And it's a great movie. James Caan plays Brian Piccolo, and Gail Sayers is played by Billy D. Williams. And I was going to ask Chris, so I'll ask you guys, do you all remember who plays Brian Piccolo's wife? From a very famous entertainment family. And she became a big star. She was already a big star. She was a star in the Elvis movies in the 60s. And her mother, Nanette Fabre, was a big star in the 40s and the 50s. And Shelley Fabre played in Clam Bake and the other one where she's the daughter of a mob boss, and Elvis's band works for the mob boss, and he's got to go to Fort Lauderdale and keep an eye on the mob boss's daughter. But much like a young Ralph Bailey, he's too stupid, and he falls in love with the mob boss's daughter. And as they say in Hollywood, that's where the hijinks begin. So she was kind of a star already, but you should remember her definitely from Coach. I know some of you watch Coach with Craig T. Nelson. And what else did Shelley Fabre do? That's about it. She was in a couple of movies. That's about it. But she played Brian Piccolo's wife. And what makes it such a great picture is it was shot in I think 70. And so a lot of the Bears of Gail Sayers' era was still alive and are in the film. Like Butkus is in the film, and there Abe Gibron, I think was his name, was a big fat coach that was with the Bears, and Jack Warden plays George Halas. It's a really good film. I can't believe I'm spending 10 minutes talking about Brian's song. How did we get on Brian's song?
We were talking about Judy Pace.
Oh, that's right. She died over the weekend, and she plays Billy D. Williams' wife. Great picture. You really should see that soon. It was a made-for-TV film. A lot of people think it was a motion picture. No, it was on ABC. I remember watching it with Chris Williams on a Friday night, and we just liked it because it was a football movie. I didn't know who Brian Piccolo was. I had heard of Gail Sayers, but I didn't know who Brian Piccolo was. And to then find out it's a true story, and a lot of it was shot. And what makes it a really good film is they use a lot of real footage of Brian Piccolo and Gail Sayers and the Chicago Bears. They got a lot of love from the Chicago Bears to make that picture. But let's go ahead and take our final break. I am so excited to go home.
¿Por qué, why?
Not excited to go inside my apartment on a day like this, but excited to have my dinner. I went and had my blood test done, so I was walking around downtown. And instead of Uber eating Bonnie's best and my egg salad sandwich, I just stopped in and got it. So then they had a dinner special, a chicken marsala. Ooh, yeah, with chicken, peas, mushrooms, and all this stuff that sounded good. So I picked that up. Gonna heat that up. I'll tell you all about it tomorrow. And Bonnie's Best is not a paying customer, which I'm sure I'll hear about tomorrow. Well, you advertising there, just saying what I did today. And I'm excited about my dinner. Quick time out. Come right back, wrap this thing up, see what you all are talking about. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. And I got bad news for Dodger fans. You're not going to like this. I can guarantee it. You're not going to like it. If you're a true Dodger fan, you're not going to like it. Not going to like it. Coming right back, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we stream live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and
Hear me? We got Messmaker right here.
I can't do that for the life of me.
Every day.
Huh?
You do that every day.
Every single day.
Last year, and it only makes me ask, why the hell haven't we just let this thing burn down to the ground already? And then the internet, as great as it is, the comment says, I hope the person that reports this fire didn't call 911.
weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Every Thursday at 4:30, Daniel Petrie lightens up the broadcast with his incredible wit, pure intelligence, political knowledge, and obviously an absolute master of economics. That's why he's such an important cog on this broadcast. And you can hear him even on some of his off days when there are financial movements that we can't explain. We lean on my man from Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. And of course, you know what they're all about. They're all about retirement. I've turned at least 3 or 4 different people on to Messmaker Petrie Wealth Advisors, and they could not be happier. You could be happy as well with your situation in terms of the fourth quarter in your life if you call 395-9400, 395-9400, the offices of Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice or a solicitation for advisory services by Daniel Petrie or MPWA Incorporated, DBA, Messmaker, and Petrie Wealth Advisors. The program host is a client and receives compensation and other financial benefits in connection with this advertisement, creating a conflict of interest. Experiences discussed may not be representative of other clients.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like the touchscreen at fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, do you think it would save money? Because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive Home and Auto bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Are you looking for a hospital that truly cares for your health and well-being? At Good Samaritan Hospital, they provide high-quality medical detox, psychiatric services, and medical and surgical care. They accept most insurances, including Medi-Cal, Medicare, and Kern Family. They offer Kern County's longest-standing inpatient detox program with dual diagnosis that combines medical care and withdrawal management all under one roof. Learn more at GoodSamaritanHospital.com or call 661-215-7500. Good Samaritan Hospital. They care for their community.
In a galaxy far, far away, the Condors host Star Wars Night against the Calgary Wranglers on Saturday. Come dressed as your favorite character and meet Jedi, Stormtroopers, droids, Darth Vader, and more as they roam the concourse throughout the night. The first 2,000 fans get a Condors light sword. Plus, the team wears specialty droid jerseys for a charity auction. It's free.
Hey, flip the remote around. Dang, man, those edibles messed you up.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
We are here on the floor, y'all. I go where do I go? Dancing with the music. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know, it's one thing to be old and having to deal with it, but it's another thing to be reminded of it every single day of my life. Did y'all just see what just happened there?
I don't try to remind you of this.
No, it's just life.
No,
something will happen in life, and it'll just be like, the only answer to this is that I'm an old man. It's the only answer to this. I literally went around the house the other day looking for my keys with my keys in my hand.
Oh.
I had left the house and I think I left my phone. That's what it was. I left my phone. And so I came running back in the house. I unlocked the door and I found my phone, grabbed it, went to lock the door and was like, okay, where'd I put my keys? And I never looked at my hands. And I finally went to open the door to see if I'd left them in the door. And I reached out and saw the keys in my hand. And I just kind of looked at myself like, you're not getting old. You're just old. I tried to turn off the sign with the wrong end. So I'm pushing. I'm like, Chris, I can't turn it off. And Chris, like, look, he's about to get up and try to fix it. Then he goes, turn the remote around. Oh, you mean like that?
You're now backwards.
That's okay. Oh, I had a
Power buttons are always on the top.
Yeah, there you go. Just old as hell.
Motorized scooter.
Are you serious?
Snack says a motorized scooter.
You're driving that home tonight?
He's across the street with us. So.
Oh, that's right. You live across the street.
How much was it? $250 for that?
That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
And
Sure,
how
yeah,
much?
go to Costco.
How much mileage can you get on a battery? Here, talk into there. 'Cause I
here,
can
come
hear
over
you.
here. He says I don't know because he just got it, but
I just got it, but I'll charge it every time I stop. So
Yeah, and this is your sole means of transportation?
yeah, if it's anywhere between here and California and Stockdale, I'm on that thing. I'm saving gas.
I hear you. That's
Gas is about to go to $8. You guys know that.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're quite aware.
already at 5.
This industry you might want to invest in. They're probably gonna go skyrocket in the next month or so.
$250 is all it costs?
Well, there's different ones, but mine's is $250.
That's all I would need is one just
Yeah,
like
that's all
that.
you need.
Dude, that could get me to work.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'll let you guys ride it tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow.
All right.
Sounds good.
See, but that's why I don't want to do it. Because
you would have to go over the hill.
If I can't even turn on a remote correctly, you don't think I'm not going to eat it on that damn thing?
Wear a helmet.
Radio talk show host Ralph Bailey is in the hospital with a broken hip. You know what I'm saying? That thing's got broken hip and Ralph Bailey written all over it. Me coming down Oak Street off that hill, and I try to take the corner because I still think I'm 35. And next thing you know, I'm laying out in the middle of California Avenue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's got broken hip written all over it. All over it.
Even if you turned into the parking lot right there next
Yes,
to
trying to make the shortcut. I just go through the Taco Bell
exactly
parking lot, and I hit the trash can or something.
You hit pothole and go
Yes,
flying.
yes. Oh, it's got broken hip written all over it. No, I ain't touched that thing. It could save me a ton of dough, though.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Especially during the summer. I wouldn't ride it during the winter.
Oh, it's too cold.
It's just too cold. Because I was thinking about walking this summer, like just walking home.
I'm gonna start doing that. To be
I
honest,
really think I can. I can make it. The BIH would be what street is that? Oak.
Yeah.
Going up the hill. That would be and going down the hill would even
you could
be a pain in the
avoid
ass.
that though if you just walk straight through
Go to
past
F.
VHS. Yeah.
Go to F.
And
Yeah.
then just hang a left.
Yeah, I could do that, but I'm definitely going to walk. I tried to do it when I worked out on Pegasus, and that was an abject failure. I got as far as Norris Road, and I was like, "This is insane."
Yeah, you ain't making
And I was
that.
dripping wet. I mean, that was crazy. I don't know what that's a 10, 12-mile walk. And I was a fat tub back in those days too. That is about as dumb a thing as I've done in a very long time. But I could make it home. Hell, I was walking today on a bad foot. I was walking all over the joint. What do you got from here to my house?
That's what I'm trying to find out right now. Hold on, I'm sorry.
I'm guessing. I bet it's about 6 miles, 7 miles. That's a nice stretch of the legs for me this summer, especially before it gets hot. This is the time I should be doing it. I should try it tonight, but the only issue, though, is it would take me, if I left here at 6:05, what time do you think I'd get home? like after 7, that would take at least an hour walk.
That's what it's telling me right here. It's 51 minutes if you walk.
Yeah, that's at least an hour.
That's if you go over Oak. If you go like downtown, like we were talking, that would be an hour.
So it is longer to go down F than it is just to cut down Oak. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it. Let's read a couple of text messages and get the Sam Hill out of here now that I've turned off the Adaptive Networks light. What do you got?
This first one says, can't walk down California to F Street. Got to go to H Street. And that has an underpass.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's way out of the way. That's now you're 3 or 4 blocks, and now I got to go down to that underpass, which I have walked underneath. Yeah, I would just have to take Oak. What else you got?
I hate to break it to you, Ralph, but it only gets worse. And a broken hip is putting it mildly.
I don't get that.
I think they're talking about the age, and then the broken hip would obviously be the scooter situation.
But it only gets worse. But what if it gets better? What are you talking about? I'm embracing old age now. I've stopped fighting it. I've just embraced it. I'm going to do goofy things. I'm going to be in weird situations. It's called the 4th quarter of one's life. What else you got?
Ralph, your show and Rick won me a betting pool at the bar. I didn't see any of the Oscars movies, and I just went back to your YouTube and used Rick's answers to my guesses, and I got more right than anyone else and won $500.
Nice. I will tell Mr. Bentley that. He'll be thrilled by that. And that's a brilliant play on your part. That really is. Why not use the expert? I'm starting to do a little bit of that with my brackets. For the first time, I actually watched 2 different bracket shows, and I've got on my phone one of the experts that I'm going to study tonight. Have you turned in yours?
I have not yet.
Are you going to participate?
Yeah.
Apparently, 16 people have already turned theirs in.
Really?
Yeah. Stupid.
It's okay. So 16 people have turned in one, or we have 16 total.
16 people. I don't know how many I'm sure somebody has got more than one.
They usually.
I use 2.
I'm gonna go with 1 this year.
I'm doing 2, but I've got a significant upset going deep in 1 that I want to roll the dice with.
Not gonna ask you to share.
I will tell you Wednesday afternoon.
Okay.
But yeah, I've
Is
got
this a play-in team?
No.
Okay.
No. What? Just because there's an HBCU, you thought I was going to?
No. I thought you drank the
Howard going someplace, or
no? I thought you were
Cal
drinking
Lutheran or somebody. Cal Baptist, it is.
No, I thought you were drinking the Miami of Ohio Kool-Aid. You're not.
I'm not saying a word till Wednesday.
330th out of 365, sir.
31-1.
Because they're so low.
Confidence does not breed winning. Winning breeds confidence.
Fair, but they're also coming off of a loss.
Finally.
I'm
just saying. I'm not even saying that's my upset team, but I'm just defending the University of Miami.
I see why you're defending it, but and I've defended them too. I don't think they're going to go very far.
And finally, on a sad note, the Dodgers are changing the name of the field. They have entered into an agreement with a group called, and I don't know if this is a G or a Q, Unoclo Field at Dodger Stadium. They are trying to circumvent or create some kind of nuanced title where they can use the title but not lose Dodger Stadium. And Jerry Buss did it back in the 80s where he named, the Forum was the Forum, and then he got in bed with Great Western Bank, and it became the Great Western Forum. And Kansas City, as I said at the top of the show, has done it. They've something Bailey Field at Arrowhead Stadium or something nonsense like that. But this is, I don't know. They've got some big contracts to pay off. They've got a huge budget. I guess you got to work for every dime you get, huh?
Real quick.
It'll always be Dodger Stadium to me, however.
What did you think of Will's frame job last night?
What are you talking about, Willis?
Did you not watch the DR versus US?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you missed out.
No, I did not.
That was a fantastic.
And when is do we have a final?
are in the final.
Who is it?
It's the U.S., but we find out who we're playing tonight. It's between
Venezuela and Japan?
No, Venezuela and Italy. Venezuela took out Japan already.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
I think it's cool because, I mean, at least.
Well, we can win now, but I still wanted to see, Yoshi go up against some of our guys.
Which Yoshi will be the opening day starter for you as well.
Damn, Skippy he will be. For Chris Burdick, I'm Ralph Bailey. That's what's really going on. Wrap to you tomorrow!
This is AM 1180 KERN. Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM. Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. European Union foreign ministers are weighing a decision on what to do to keep the Strait of Hormuz open in order to stop an energy crisis.
Meeting in Brussels on Monday, EU foreign ministers were discussing Trump's demand for warships to help protect shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. The foreign ministers of Germany and Estonia said they wanted more clarity on what the US and Israeli aims were for the conflict and when it would end.